And we're live. Hey guys, it's been a little bit of a while. A little bit of a while.
Oh. Quick, everybody, what episode is this?
Oh my god,
come
like
on, man.
61 billion?
61.
61.
It's gotta be 60 something, right?
Yeah.
61.
What are we gonna do for 69?
Oh, that's the
That's the sex cast where we talk
Is that
exclusively about dirty things.
yeah.
Oh,
Let's go.
You're talking about porn games?
That's the one
Yes.
Bradley's been waiting for. He's been stocking up.
That's the hentai Asmodeus redux.
We have a oddly popular video by Hentai Osmotus, all things considered, on our channel.
God, what a sleeper hit.
Sleeper hit. All right. This is definitely the last podcast till Thanksgiving, and there might be one near the end of the year, but chances are we won't do another podcast till the beginning of next year.
We'll have more One Piece. Hopefully we can get Whole Cake Island before this year is done.
That's probably going to be like, if you don't like One Piece content on this channel, you're going to be pretty bored throughout December.
But we got Game of the Year coming up.
Oh, I'm so excited.
We have it marked out for our calendars. It's basically a second holiday for us.
It's like in 3 weeks or so, right? Ooh, maybe 4?
Yeah.
4 weeks.
It's 1, 2, 3. It's in 4 weeks. It's in a month.
Okay.
But yeah.
I got a month to get far into Shin Megami Tensei 5 and play Ratchet and Clank. So that's what I got going on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let us do our quick talks. Joe, I don't think we can do face cam today. just looking at the situation right now, I think it's best.
Listen, this is my life at the current moment, so you're going to have to live with it.
No. I don't think people should see you in this state.
I don't care.
You look great. Let me tell you.
I currently have an ear infection. I'm 90% sure. I closed my jaw and I have sharp pain in my ear canal.
That's the worst. I'm sorry that you're about to talk for a bit.
Yeah. So I'm going Thursday because that's as soon as they can get me. I'm very sad about it. But whatever. All right. I got 100 things that I need to talk about in 5 minutes. We're going to walk backwards here. I got Call of Duty Vanguard. It's the new Call of Duty game. I primarily got it for the story mode. Shockingly enough, I've really enjoyed the story mode in this Call of Duty. I remember all the characters' names. I felt like each character actually was a character and had motivations and backstories, and I enjoyed them. Each of the little levels has a little gimmick. Like Arthur Kingsley, he can direct troops, so you are sending troops to like suppress different like bunker locations so you can move and maneuver your way to like take them out. Polina has like the ability to climb and go into small spaces, so you have this really one cool level where you're doing guerrilla tactics to take out like this Nazi platoon inside of a train warehouse, a post office. So you're moving through like the mailroom like chutes and stuff as you're like gunning them down. You go down to like the mail chutes. It's really cool. Overall pretty good, probably not worth $60, but I was like, I want to play Call of Duty. Shockingly, in the 10 years that I have not played a Call of Duty game, the network is the same. It's garbage. I don't know how they keep doing it this way. Please fix your netcode.
Hey, question: Is this another World War II game?
It is another World War II game.
Hold on. Didn't they put out another World War II Call of Duty?
They put out Call of Duty World War II, and then they put out Call of Duty Black Ops, and then they put out Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
No, okay, sorry. So there was World at War back in the days when we all cared about Call of Duty, and they had Zombies 1.
Yeah.
Vanguard is old. It didn't come out this year then.
Vanguard came out this year. Yeah.
Wait, but there was a World War II Call of Duty after World at War, I thought.
Yeah, it's called Call of Duty World War II.
There's 3 World War II Call of Duties in my lifetime.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't play another World War II game in the rest of my life. It's going to be very hard to get me to get interested in that setting ever again.
Okay, but hear me out. World War II, but it's Halo.
Is that what Halo 5 is?
What would that even look like?
I'm just saying, like, imagine like World War II, but everything is Halo-ized. So you have like bolt action, like alien weapons.
That's just Halo.
There's Covenant Nazis. I don't know.
That works. Space Nazis are a thing. The last time I've been excited about World War II as a setting is a single boss in Death Stranding takes place during like a purgatory World War II, and it's fucking sick.
That's a really fun. Yeah. That one's much better than World War I.
In the newer Call of Duty games that don't take place in World War II, are the zombies still Nazis?
No, they're communist. I think they're based on where they are. I can't remember actually.
Yeah, in Black Ops 2 or 1, they were like...
They were still Nazis.
Oh, no.
Because
I always call it Nazi zombies instead of zombies, and I was like, I thought maybe they were only Nazis in that one. I don't know.
I think they rebranded. To be fair.
yeah. They had a rebrand.
Probably. It's probably a good call.
Ironically enough, if they came out and said like, "Hey, we're doing a campaign pack for this game," I'd probably get it and buy it because I like really enjoyed the levels in this game. It was just super short. I beat the whole game in one night. Made me really sad. Whereas I felt like the game was really like ramping up. Like, oh, cool! It's the whole story about like the Special Tactics Force, that like the first Special Forces team ever been assembled. It's like we did it. We beat the game. Wait, what? It's like, all right, cool. Following up on that, I went back and played God of War 3 because God of War Ragnarok got not announced, but like we got its first like big trailer.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
A month or two ago. And so I was like, I haven't played God of War 3 in a few years. I want to play that again. Yeah, that game is kind of bullshit. Like, it's like, oh man, there's so much archaic stuff in there. Like, to dodge in that game, you have to use the right stick to dodge in a direction. And the camera is like fixed as well. So like there's some weird things where like you can get stuck behind a corner and like not see what's happening to you or your character. So you don't even know what moves you're doing or like what the other enemies are doing. And I just feel like sometimes like you don't get enough like feedback. It's like, is this hit actually doing something or is it not doing something? It's very, very strange. And I've always thought that game's story is horrendous and very shoehorned, but it's really funny because like you definitely get to the end of that game, and Corey Balrog, he's the current director of God of War, who also made this game. You can definitely tell like he had the thought of like this other like kid character following you around and doing things because like the last half of the game you have Pandora who's following you around and she does little puzzle stuff with you. So he definitely had that like thought. It's like I kind of like this dynamic. I'm going to throw it in at the end of this game here, and then maybe one day I can do it again. And he did.
God of War 2018 happened.
Was it 2018? Yeah.
That's almost 3 years ago. Yikes.
Yeah. But man, it's still a fun game. Like I went in there, and like my brain was just like, "Here's the combos you can do." Let's just start juggling fools. I'm like, brain good.
The only brain good. The only thing I know about that game is some of the bosses like Kronos and like Poseidon. And I know you have to like first person like beat the shit out of Zeus.
That's Poseidon. You have to first person beat the shit out of Poseidon. That's the first boss of the game. There's also Hades. There's also Hercules, which is just his is brutal. His death is brutal.
Kratos was not a cool dude back in the day.
No, I mentioned this I think in our chat, but Kratos says more words in the first 10 minutes of the game than he does in the entirety of God of War 2018. Like
that seems very wrong.
No, this dude just shut the fuck up.
Wow, yikes.
Yeah, he's an angry boy. But yeah, it's fun. I'm almost at the end there, but like there's this bullshit ass enemy encounter that's like the last like hard enemy encounter in a game before you go fight Zeus. I just need to get through it. And then finally, me and my friends wrapped up our D&D campaign for Curse of Strahd.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a really fun time. We did it in about 15, 16 sessions. It was a lot of fun. It kind of got a little bit dicey at the end there because one of my friends, Kelsey, our friend actually, was moving to Dallas. And so we literally got the last session in 24 hours before she moved up there.
Damn.
The last session, we started at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they finally killed the big bad vampire at 7 o'clock in the evening.
Jesus. I don't know about this, man. I'm having second thoughts. I'm getting cold feet.
Listen, cold shoulder.
I'm giving you the cold shoulder.
Yeah. The thing is like, you get into it and you start going and you don't realize like, oh shit, 4 hours has passed already. Because you realize there's a lot more thought in playing that you have to go into when it comes to like the encounters you do, because especially in this, because a lot of it is a horror setting. So I had to make sure whenever they're encountering something, they have to have the reasonable fear that if they fuck this up, they will die. So and like talking to them, they really felt that like every time they went into a situation, they did not feel safe. They were always on edge. They felt tense. which is what the thing I was going for. I also was like, I had this plot twist that I kind of stuck in there at the very beginning where they would be introduced to this character that would basically be like, oh, you can spend money for me and I'll give you magic items. Because you get a lot of gold in this module, but the whole point of the module is that you're stuck in this closing country. So like the gold is basically worthless from a gameplay standpoint because like you can't really buy any upgrades if you just run the modules for your character. And it kind of feels bad. It's like, oh good, we found 1,000 gold. This literally does nothing for us. But I took the twist on that where the salesperson was actually like this spy that was working for the vampire Strahd. And so whenever they would go up and talk to him, he would relay the information back to the vampire. So the vampire always knew what they were doing. And then like he also cursed the artifact. So in the final showdown, he ends up joining the fight, and then he ends up using these magic items that they've used for the entirety of the campaign, get switched onto them. So now they had to deal with these items that they bought way back when that they've been using the entire time. It kind of disrupts their plans for a little bit. But they had a great time. They thought it was great. They were shocked at that revelation. Like legitimately were not expecting it whatsoever.
So were you like, does your little booklet that has this scenario suggest something like that, or did you just make that all up yourself?
No, so whenever I do D&D, I always like having what I call the magic shop. It is a place where like they can just dump their gold.
Yeah,
because
it's the Resident Evil 4/8 vendor guy. What you buying?
Yeah, because like in D&D context, like usually whenever you go raid a dungeon, you will get like 500 gold. In the context of the world, a commoner like will make the entire gold piece in their lifetime, basically. So having 500 gold pieces is like a huge amount of cash. Like if you get like 1,000 gold pieces, you could easily like buy out an entire town. So you kind of want to like stem the flow of that and like funnel it somewhere, and makes them feel more rewarded. So I really wanted to have this feeling of like, I like putting that in there, but I really wanted them to turn on its head, where it's like, well, what if the shopkeeper like was really a detriment to the party in a way they didn't realize? Like they were like, he traded away like a 33% discount on all of his goods, but they each had to give him a personal item. And that personal item allows the vampire to keep track on them. It allows them to like have advantage and like additional effects against them because he holds something that's personal to them. So he has a direct link to those party members. So now he has this power. They're not sure how he's getting that power. So that's where the influence of that came from. And it kind of fits into the setting of like not trusting a buddy and like betrayal and like just like, you know, the real monster is human, you know, that kind of nonsense. But we had a great time. Hoping to start a pirate campaign soon with everyone. We just need to sit down and like discuss what everyone's doing. But yeah, it was great. That's literally everything I've done in the past, I think, 2 months. When was the last time we did one of these?
Oh, it hasn't been 2 months. I would not
It's
allow
been a
that
month?
to happen. It's been a while. It's probably been a month.
Yeah. But that's me.
Damn. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Bradley, why don't you tell us about Snowpiercer, which you've watched recently? Rewatched recently.
Yeah.
It's one of your favorite movies, as I recall.
Yeah, I rewatched it and I fucking love the movie. And what prompted the rewatch is the Doofcast, whom I love. They review movies and books and stuff like that. They put out a review a little bit ago for Snowpiercer, and I was like, oh my god, I love that movie. And so whenever they review something, I'll often just watch it. Like, oh, I haven't watched Madoka Magica, but they have a review for it, so I guess I have to watch it now. And I don't know. So I did my rewatch of Snowpiercer, and then I went into the review, and they seemed to have a very similar kind of take I did, because they also had all watched the movie again. Like they had watched it before and were rewatching it. And one of them previously on the podcast had like given his list of top 6 movies of all time. And he's like, oh man, going into this rewatch, I was thinking about that list, and he's like, oh my god, like, why was Snowpiercer not on that list? I fucking love Snowpiercer. Like, it should definitely be on this list. And then after the rewatch, he was like, you know what? maybe it doesn't belong on the list.
Really? I thought that story would end with, and then he decided it was number one.
No, and I kind of had the same thought while rewatching it.
I thought Snowpiercer was a decent movie.
No, it is decent. And
so, fun fact about Snowpiercer: I have it downloaded and ready to watch. I just never do it for some reason. It was actually between that and Inside Out the other day, and I chose Inside Out.
I think my usual take of Snowpiercer is like, the story's all right. I like the story, but what really, really sets it apart is, holy shit, this movie has awesome action. It's directed really just... God, the directing and casting is so unique, which isn't that unusual for this director. He also directed Parasite and... God, what else has he directed?
I mean, everyone knows Parasite and...
Yeah, so like if you've seen Parasite, the movie has an extremely similar feel to that.
Have you seen Parasite, actually? I feel like you'd really like it.
Yeah, after watching Snowpiercer, I was like, well, it was one of those movies where after I watched it, I was like, well, I guess I gotta watch other stuff this guy's made.
Bro, we gotta talk about Parasite. I was alone, I think, when I talked about that. Anyway.
But yeah, I think like the take of the movie is, okay story, amazing action and directing, and upon a rewatch, the story is so much worse than I remembered. But the action and directing is so much better than I even remembered, which was really cool.
Give or take. Yeah, give and take.
Give or take. So, I don't know. I still think Chris Evans acts really, really well in this movie, though most of that is offloaded to the second half of the movie. That's where, like, the majority of his character arc lives, I think. But I don't want this to be a full segment. The only other thing I want to talk about, because I've had this thought about the movie in some other media before, and I don't know, they said it in the podcast, so I knew I wasn't crazy. Like, I'm not the only one having this thought. This is something that Hunger Games does, One Piece does it, and Snowpiercer does it. And I kind of always sort of dislike it when it happens. Whenever you have a story that's like lower class versus upper class, they always make the lower class kind of look and behave like actual human beings, and the upper class, whether it's the people who live in the Capitol in Hunger Games, or the Celestial Dragons in One Piece, or the people at the front of the car in Snowpiercer, they always make them just like they're always so alien, and they just don't look normal, they don't talk normal.
Or Squid Game.
Yeah. I think it's a metaphor.
And obviously that's because they want you to identify with the lower class people who are rising up. But also, like, I think kind of in the case of Hunger Games, more than the other two, but also with the other two, it kind of removes the ability for self-reflection and for people to consider whether or not they are that, like, upper class that doesn't give a shit about the lower class.
Right, okay, yeah, because they're so evil that even the real world's upper class is like, wow, get a load of these guys. Like, they don't see themselves as the problem because the upper class is so alien.
Because a lot of times I'll see people in regards to Hunger Games be like, oh, what if the Capitol is what the USA is to some of these countries that we start wars in or exploit for the resources and stuff like that. But that's not a huge gripe. The point is, Snowpiercer, while being a really, really good movie, is it as good as they say? Maybe not.
They, including you.
They, including me. So whatever. I still think everyone should watch it.
I'm keen to check it out. In the defense of One Piece, while we're at it, the Celestial Dragons may very well be aliens. I'm not putting it's an option. Also, there's Doflamingo's dad. Shout outs to that guy. And that,
if nothing else, the Snowpiercer setting is still fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
Everyone get on a train.
Yeah, you know about Snowpiercer 2, right? Where there was just a second train.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do about the second one?
Oh yeah, I forgot they made a.
I don't know if they made or if they're making, but I know that that's a thing.
I think they made like a TV series of it or some shit. I don't know.
Chris Evans finds a second train buried underneath the first train.
I did say Chris Evans earlier and not Chris Pratt.
Yeah, you're right. And okay. You know what? If you said Chris Pratt, can't even blame you.
I don't,
Yeah.
If I said
That
Chris
poisoned
Pratt,
everything now.
I could just play it off as me memeing if I said Chris Pratt.
Bradley, let me squeeze some more quickies out of you while you're here. You finished Dread, which you hadn't last time. So if you want to drop anything about
man.
the finale of Dread and any of the bosses you didn't fight back then, because good game,
Dude,
right?
I 100%ed Dread. Fucking loved it. Collected all the power ups. I thought a lot of the environmental puzzles with the shine sparks were fucking cool.
Oh man,
the bosses, bitch. Some of my favorite bosses. No, you know what? My favorite bosses in Metroid, because I'll often think back to like Super Metroid, which is a good game, but a lot of those bosses, there's like one particular spot you can just stand in and aim your gun up diagonally.
Crouch in the corner and out DPS Ridley kind of thing.
I don't know. All the bosses here, you had to learn their patterns. You had to learn their tells. I fucking loved it.
Except for that fucking bug. Fuck that boss. That thing was just
it does cool stuff. Actually, fun fact, you can quick kill that boss if you shine spark into the room and then you bounce back and forth and then kill it instantly.
I tried doing it, but my timing was off a little bit. Anyway, it's gonna be controversial for some people out there. So I'm gonna say it.
Say the words.
I think it's the best 2D Metroid.
Say the word part.
Yeah.
Probably my strongest contender for game of the year this year.
It's fucking dude, man.
Don't show your hand, Joe. Don't reveal your hand too early.
Listen, I got nothing to lose here. I'm done. All the games I played this year they've been fun, but nothing's been like outworldly for me. I feel
there's no 13 Sentinels. However, I got some contenders, but
I think I played 13 Sentinels this year, but we did it last year.
No, you played it last year. You actually played it semi alongside, right?
No, last year we did 13
my
Sentinels.
talked you into buying it. That's right.
Yeah, I bought it that day, then downloaded it on my PS4 and went home and I played it. And then I gave you my 75% accurate theories.
Very good. You were doing pretty hot.
75.
I got some quickies. I watched Squid Game, which we talked about last time, but I hadn't watched it yet. I think Squid Game. I'm gonna be.
It's not better than Kaiji.
I'm gonna be. I don't want to go down that route because I could just go on that topic for a while. I'm with you. I don't. I'm gonna be a contrarian twice this podcast. And I wish I could like everything as much as other people. Now, Squid Game is actually pretty good. I think that's an enjoyable series. I will say I think it drastically starts to fall off around episode 5. And that includes the ever-loved episode 6 with the marbles. I had some problems with that episode, too. As pretty as the set looked. But, like, has everyone here watched Squid Games, Joe?
Yeah.
I watched your
I haven't finished it. I don't really care if I do.
Tyler doesn't care. You watched did you watch those videos I sent?
Yeah. That's how I watched it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, it's weird because that's like watching my sister react to movies. It's just a hoot.
So there will be, I guess, full spoilers in the discussion. A couple of things worth noting. Like, I quite like the main character, and I think people are pretty hard on him in the end.
Oh, I love him.
Like, the thing is, he kind of buffoons his way around winning the Squid Game. It's not like I'm gonna say this a lot. Kaiji has to, like, properly solve these things as opposed to kind of get carried by it's not Sung
Old
Woo.
Man.
Old Man also kind of carried him through at least 2 of the games. What's the rival's name? Yeah, one for sure. Like, also the rope pulling one. But,
yeah.
Which by my estimation was the last good game they played, because I really don't like the game with the stairs, because that is so deliberately like, oh, we're just gonna kill a bunch of you, and like it's not independent. Like, the show opens up with this moral dilemma of like, well, everyone's here by their own choice, and while that's true, that is not true for the first round. They show up, they play the first round, and then they're like, hey, you can leave if you want after like 40 of you have died from the green light, red light game.
That's probably my biggest problem too, is they try to have moral superiority, but it's like you literally did not tell them they were going to die.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Kaiji. Kaiji, like, they come straight out and like, here's what's going to happen, just so you know.
Yeah.
And then
and the thing with Kaiji is like Kaiji's a frustratingly broken character mentally. So it's like he keeps getting through the situations, but it's a character flaw. Which is, I think, Squid Game's second and third episode where everyone goes home. That was a huge twist to me. I did not think that they were gonna stop the game. And I like how everyone came back. I thought that was really well handled as well.
That's a great kind of like reiteration of like, this is how desperate these people are. Like, it's just like, you know, when it comes down to it, they just can't. But yeah.
So some other gripes I had. I didn't like the agent storyline like at all. Bradley, talk to me here. Did you find that one particularly cool? Because it almost got kind of ridiculous that he wasn't caught and he had infinite cell phone service.
Oh wait, where the brother was infiltrated? Oh, dude, I love that shit.
Really?
I
Okay.
was rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted him to stop the game because I wanted to see justice being served in the situation, but he just kind of gets shot in the shoulder in the end and maybe dies. Hard to say.
As much as I love him in that subplot, I kind of don't like how it ended because, like, I don't know. I think they said Squid Game was intended to be a single season story, which is
that's out the window
like,
now.
That's the like I think they're going to do another season, but if that's how it was intended, if that's how it was intended when it was wrote, that's kind of like how I like to judge it. And through that lens, I don't really see. I don't know really what they're trying to do with the brother he was looking for actually being part of the game, and
I feel like the statement there is like everyone who is part of the masks is also someone who's in debt. And there's some theories where it's like whether you pick the blue or the red square depends if you were a player or a whatever person, worker. Yeah. That doesn't really work because they're not going to have the workers be complete randos. Like, it might be people who are in different types of debt or like different situations where they might need the help, but they need to be trustworthy people. But like, I don't know, there's a lot of side plots with them, like them doing the organ harvesting with the doctor that didn't really go many places. And then, like, another thing, like, everyone loves the character Ali. I thought Ali was so stupid in the game that he died that I actually didn't feel sympathy for a character that, like, I loved.
Which one was Ali?
Episode. Is he Pakistani? I want to say Pakistani guy. Middle Eastern.
Oh, the comedy relief.
The dumbass.
Yeah, I agree with you, Willer. Like,
at this point, everyone here is complicit in murder, and you think this guy, who in this game where it's you survive or you die, like it's a half of the cast is being called out in this game, and you don't even have the forethought to like even think you're being tricked. Like, that's too trusting.
And this is where I'm gonna harshly push back against you guys because I don't think every character in this show has to behave completely rationally for it to be good.
I agree. I'm saying that, like, I don't. I think it's right that Ali died because it's his big character flaw is that he's gullible. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think it's a necessary character flaw.
Yeah.
That because not every character in the show has the same personality, and his whole thing is that he is just too naive and good-hearted for this game.
You said it right. Like, not every character has to be rational for the show to be good, and I still think the show is good. I just do not like Ali. I think when you do something that stupid, a part of me just a part of my heart shuts off for you. Because
that's the other thing is that that's where I'm in the middle of the spectrum. I was like, I agree with Bradley, great death. I agree with Willer, he's a fucking idiot.
I mostly just disagree on the terminology. I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's just very naive and innocent.
And then, like, as a critique, I wonder how I need to reflect, like, how good of a critique is it? Because in a lot of the games, there's a lot of luck-based components, but I guess, like, part of the critique is, like, well, it's also luck-based if you're in a good spot in society or not. But then it's like, I don't know, when you put gamblers in the situation, it kind of muddles the metaphor for me a little bit because of the gambler fallacy and, like, the addictiveness that these characters portray to their lifestyle. So So it's
also
hard. It's hard for me to look at it as a very direct one-to-one metaphor. I mean, metaphors can never be one-to-one, but like it.
How do y'all feel about like in the Glass game? There comes a point where one of the guys realizes he can see based on like the reflection of the light, like, and then they shut the lights off. I have a weird kind of like opinion on that, like because that guy is smart. But I also
and then the system shuts him down, so I think that fits with the metaphor. I guess.
Yeah.
So
hey, the VIP sucked. We'll just also throw that out there.
Dude, oh my god, their dialogue was hilarious. It was so
You have such pretty eyes.
I'll choose number 69.
That one's all right.
But
yeah, good show though. I'm not looking forward to season 2.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to watch season 2, even though I really, really liked this season. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
Go ahead. The thing about Kaiji. Sorry. Go ahead, Brett. And then I'll go on Kaiji rant.
I was going to say, I have the same feeling about it. I have a Stranger Things where I really, 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 really liked the season I watched, but there's just no desire in my mind to watch after that because I like where it ended.
I'm in the incredibly rare situation where I think season 3 of Stranger Things is the best, so I'm glad that it kept going with that in mind. But I digress.
Oh, what I was going to say is that I feel like the thing about what makes Kaiji so, like, investing is that Kaiji himself is the train wreck. Like, that character is such a problem child that you have to see where he goes, you know? And I don't get that same feeling with this main character, like because he's some.
They have elements of it, but also he has so many heroic qualities. Where Kaiji is really nice, and he is a hero, but he's at such a negative point where even his heroic acts don't even bring him to 0. Like much like Johnny Joestar, he's just trying to reach 0, and he's as far as I've read, he's not quite there.
Yeah, and like I think that's what makes Kaiji so much more appealing is that like. You feel like you're betting on a horse in the race when it comes to this show in Kaiji, where like you really want this horse to win, but you also know that the it's not very likely, or like if he does, it's just like another person on like the ticket, you know.
Except all the horses are homeless people.
Yeah, and it's brutal.
And
but
the
like
racetrack is ugly old men who are really good at card games and bullshit.
But I think like Kaiji's such a much stronger character to like watch and root for than the one in Squid Games.
I like Ji-hoon, I believe is his name, but
it's fine. But like Kaiji's just like
Kaiji.
Yeah, I love seeing you in Pain Boy.
Do you remember the end of the Emperor game in Kaiji? I could not believe that ended like that. Holy fuck! Yeah, that motherfucker lost every finger. So messed
Good game. Good game, Kaiji.
That wasn't even the end of the Emperor game. That was him pushing his luck for one more game. That's the worst and best part about it. That's what makes it.
Oh my god.
Now, the only other thing in Squid Game I wanted to talk about that like I saw since the last time we talked about it was one thing that like I just could not get over was that shit in the last episode where he dyes his hair red. Like, what is going on with that?
Yeah.
And the coolest theory I saw on it was like it's kind of like an analog for the red pill and blue pill in the Matrix, because in the first episode of Squid Game, he is wearing like a blue hat and shit like that, and like his like color, his color in the beginning of the series is blue, like in clothes and stuff and lighting and stuff like that. And at the end, after he's like had his innocence taken from him, he's seen this stuff that the guy he thought is. He saw all this shit that like the guy he thought was his friend did, and he kind of lost a lot of faith in the world with the old guy, shit like that. Mm-hmm. And he's resolved to now stop this game. Someone's like, oh, it kind of echoes the red pill, blue pill with Neo and the Matrix, and how he gets like awakened to the nature of the world and wants to stop it and stuff like that.
When I saw that scene, I thought he was just kind of like, you know how people dye their hair to like just kind of get a little bit of change in life.
Yeah, like, it's like kind of letting some stress out. Like
that's
nothing
what I
in
felt.
my life.
Yeah.
Nothing in my life matters right now. Fuck it, why not?
Well, he dyed his hair when he was on the comeback. Like, he bummed out for a bit, and then he dyes his hair, and then he finally, like, gets back to giving the money to the people who deserved it and all that.
So, anyway, I thought that was a cool little thing they did.
I'll check out season 2, but, like, my expectations are pretty low, but we'll see.
Yeah, you know.
All right, let's talk about some other topics. That became a whole thing, and you know what else was a whole thing? I watched Inside Out for the first time.
Thanks. You know, like, yeah, Tyler's been doing stuff too.
Tyler, actually, I had stuff. First of all, you didn't tell me to write anything down, so whose fault is that? Because you were playing Battlefield while we were starting. Second of all, I thought
you would still ask me.
Well, tell me what to write. I wanted to ask how it was like climbing in Unite with me. Was it fun?
Dude, Willer and I got some Pokemon Unite Masters. We're the best at video games.
We did it. We did it with 10 hours to spare, and now we're both back to Ultra because the season reset. But we had a night.
We had like a 6-hour-long grind fest, and it was daylight savings time rolled back. So we're like, Willer was like, I'll stop playing at 3 a.m. Little did we know.
Little did I know. And at 3:10ish is when we finished, so it worked out. We started that night on like a 7-game win streak, and then we just got our shit together and just kind of crushed it from that point on, but it was scary.
I mean, when we started that night, we actually went on like a 5-game lose streak. Like, I got demoted like twice.
Did I say 7-game win streak? I meant lose streak. Yeah, it was bad.
I was like, man, man, we were on a win streak, and then we got our shit together, and we kept winning.
We're just What else do you have, Tyler?
Been traveling. Yeah. I'm traveling every day the weekend, the month of November. Wow. That's my life recently. Got some new luggage. Away luggage is pretty good. Nice. Let's see. I did LA, so I went to LA to watch the Eternals screening. And then we went to Oregon. So if anybody is in Portland, I had Killer Burger. That shit kind of slaps. It was a good smash burger. I played the new Mario Party with Kelly.
Yeah, Mario Party.
That shit's bonkers. Like it said she was gonna win, and then I did a turn where like it's like just trade your shit, just trade all of it, just fucking do it. And so we traded all our coins and stars. And she was like, "Okay, I'm done with this now."
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, I had like a supreme Mario Party pain. I was playing with my friend Amber. And there's a map where there's like 2 islands and a bridge in the middle. And the toll for the bridge starts at 1 coin. And you always have to pay like 1 higher than whatever the current toll is. Mm-hmm. But you can choose to pay more. So if the current toll is like 5 coins, you could choose to pay 20 coins. So the next person has to pay 21 or more. Mm-hmm. So I had been winning like every fucking minigame the whole game. I have like 100-something coins. And everyone is on one island, and the star is on the opposite island. So I crossed over to the island, and I paid like 80 coins for the toll, which no one else had that much money. So I'm like, oh, now I'm the only one on this island with the star. I can just rack up stars, and they have to try to get enough money to get over here. Second I cross the bridge, one of them lands on a question mark space that moves the star back over to their island. And I had to use the rest of all of my money to get back there.
Get fucked.
I got fucked so hard.
Fuck.
You got Mario Party, bitch.
But that's exactly why I like the game.
Yeah.
That's what was missing from Mario Superstars, or is what was it? Super Mario Party?
Super
Mario Party.
It's just like it's just so bare bones. You're like, oh, you play the game, cool, you did it. This like what makes Mario Party fun is just getting demolished by the game. Yeah. It's the funniest thing. The more brutal the game is, the funnier it is. Now there's a breaking point, like in
Billions Road is the breaking point.
Yeah, Billions Road.
I cannot believe that game we played. I have never been so fucked in my life.
It's so funny though. But yeah.
It's
so new Mario Party's kind of all right.
Yeah.
I need to pick it up.
Me too. Play it online with me, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've been reading Black Clover still. Black Clover is having some interesting things happen in the story. like kind of big changing things that make me almost care a lot more than I should about the story.
Black Clover is all right. You know, it's the best 3 out of 5 you'll read weekly.
You know, I mean, I still like let Dr. Stone drop through. I was like, I can't keep reading this many words per week.
Yeah.
And then Battlefield. But I think we're gonna talk about that.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
We're gonna talk about that in a little bit.
I'll interject with some other things. Quick talk, very brief.
Oh, also, I watched we that movie that you and I like, Bob Odenkirk.
Fuck, I didn't watch
Nobody.
it. You know, when I watch it next podcast, we can talk about it more. But did you like it?
Here's a non-spoiler review of it. It is a new genre I'm calling
John Wick films.
Yeah, it is a John Wick film.
Cool.
Starring Bob Odenkirk.
Cool.
Yeah, starring Bob Odenkirk. It was pretty good.
Boys Weekend. Let's watch a Boys Weekend.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, if you listen to our podcasts, scheduled December 12th. Well, that's when we're recording.
Yeah.
So follow that week. So holiday time, y'all will be getting a Hot 21 Game of the Year tier list.
I feel like I'm actually, like, despite being less passionate about these games, I played so many. I feel like I'm going to fight Joe and Tyler on some things. Bradley goes under the radar till he sneaks his bullshit into the end game.
The thing is, I feel like Bradley's number one contender for there is something we've all played, and we're all kind of like, yeah, that's a really good game. It's hard for us to like deny that.
Am I gonna have to play Inscriptions so that we play the hottest game this year? Maybe.
Man, that's the thing. I already bought it. I need to try to squeeze it in before we.
How long is it? That's my worry.
I think Trevor said it's probably like 12 to 14 hours.
I could squeeze that in this month.
Okay. Anyways, can we get back to Inside Out?
No, okay, before Inside Out, I've been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5. That game, Bradley, is the closest you can get to Pact, because you're making these deals with these demons, and they will fuck you up if you mess up.
That's
all
so
the
funny.
Screenshots you've sent me, I've really liked.
Willer, should Joe play this game, yes or no? That's my one.
The thing, so I'm pretty early, so this is not my review on the game yet.
Yes, no, maybe. Yes, or wait.
Maybe because it's so sparse on story, but it's so rich in tone. It just feels so dreary and good in that way. But it's so gameplay heavy, and the gameplay is better than Persona, easily.
Okay,
damn,
really?
Fuck out of here.
Oh yeah, like as a turn-based game, like Shin Megami Tensei fucks your dick. Like it just bends you over and will constantly fuck you up. I'm running back and saving. It's only on Switch, actually. It's a Switch exclusive.
What the fuck?
Ooh, should that? Hey, how long is it, Willard? Do you know?
I don't know because it's so recent.
I could go for some of that.
I feel like Bradley would like this game more than Persona, just because it's like nonstop. It's the exploration's pretty fun. Like I'm hitting nooks and crannies where I'm fighting very useful things, and I need them because the combat is hard. And I think you would like the demonology, like the lore behind the demons, and like the negotiation is not as good as our pack game. Don't get me it's not even close.
But it's still something.
It hits those vibes. So.
But should be called a fuckboy, so
I could go for some of that.
Nekomata calling you a fuckboy is currently my favorite thing in gaming right now. Another thing I've been playing some Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, which is a 2020 game. I might bring it into the Game of the Year because that's a really fun game.
Well, they're out here making content for the cast.
Oh, dude, I've been working hard this month.
Have you seen my Game of the Year list? It's huge.
Mine's bigger. Okay.
Is it?
Oh, mine's massive. I wrote down the list. It's girthy too, so don't forget it.
Y'all, I have a super tiny list for Game of the Year.
That's
my list is average and fully functional.
My list is so tiny I would get a lift kit on my truck.
Okay. Anyways, even though I started this, I will also end this. Genshin will be in this Game of the Year contention because 2.0 came out, so at least you guys played something this year.
Yeah.
Mama.
Genshin sluts. And then I've also been playing Pokemon Black and White 2. I'm on a big Pokemon mood, and I've been doing this in a Nuzlocke. It's challenge mode, so it's very hard, and I'm letting people in our friend group like name the characters and get attached to them so I can fuck it all up. Shout outs to I'm sorry about Raizo, Joe. Shout outs to Bradley's Lucario, who is still carrying me to this day, and I might make some progress here after we do our podcast. It's been fun because I never got to play challenge mode because the way you get it is stupid. I'm glad it exists, but the way you get it is stupid. Do y'all know how it works? You have to I
think you have to beat the game.
You have to beat the game and get the code, unlock the key, and then you have to restart, which is unless you're me, no one plays a Pokemon game to restart. People play them to get all the Pokemon. I'm the one who likes restarting and doing Nuzlocke.
What's funny is that what would solve that problem is they just give you a special save file that you can. That's only for that can't be traded, or you can only trade.
Or make it a menu option, let you switch it on and off, whatever. We talked about Game Freak too much lately.
We went on a tirade yesterday about how much we hate Pokemon games.
That's not I love Pokemon games. I'm playing a bunch of them. I just hate Game Freak.
Diamond and Pearl review coming in soon.
Yeah,
it was more of a we like Pokemon, but god damn it, why don't they do all this stuff that could make it better?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get Diamond and Pearl, and I'm gonna like it, but it looks so fucking ugly. Anyways, and I know the Battle Frontier's not gonna be there, and I'm already upset about it. Whatever.
Can we talk about Inside Out now?
Yes, Inside Out. I watched it. We're gonna go quick. This is now a quick talk for Inside Out.
Okay.
Hey, this is a pretty good movie. I always knew I'd like it. I think the version that I found legally online. Wait, I have Disney Plus. Why did I download this?
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, anyways, are the characters fuzzy in high quality as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a little bit of fuzz on them. Yes.
Okay, I think the fuzz is more pronounced.
Fuzz.
Yeah.
Fuzz. I think
it kind of looks like they're made up of a bunch of tiny little motes of stuff.
Little particle. They're little particle creatures, right?
Yeah. Little atoms.
This is a good movie. I think it starts off really strong, but is it controversial to say that the second half is not that strong?
Maybe not.
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like... Let's see, what did I write down? As soon as the imaginary friend got introduced, I got a little weary of where that plot line was going. I think it resolved itself well enough. I thought he was going to be an annoying villain character, but he turned out to be a big hero. So shout outs to whatever that guy.
That is one of the hardest I have ever sobbed in a movie. And I'm not kidding. Yeah. I bawled like a baby.
Man, I think multiple aspects of her life falling apart and the way it's portrayed is by far my favorite part of this movie. When she's going through hardships, so her islands are falling apart and the memories are getting tainted, and I feel one of the bummers I'll bring up is that there's out of the 5 emotions, only 2 of them are real integral parts of the story. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. I feel also I feel bad for this kid because in about 10 years she's gonna have to go through it all over again in college.
This kid ain't ready.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed that. I really like the emotional end of the movie where it's feelings are feelings. They are not a bad thing, regardless of how you feel. They are
her mind coming to terms with the idea of mixed emotions that are bittersweet is super cool. I thought that was a really good message.
It's a very mature message that not everything can be categorized into happy moments, sad moments, disgusting moments, things mixed and intertwined.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them better memories, is because you have all those feelings. And if you didn't have all those feelings, you would fall apart.
I like how much of a fuck up sadness is. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm touching the thing again. Oh no."
To sadness's point, though, is that no one gave her a chance. You can't get over how sad you are unless you acknowledge how sad
sadness.
you are.
Theme wise, this movie is a banger, and I know Bradley has a soul connection with Joy, who is
oh my god, Amy Poehler is so good.
Yeah, voiced by Amy Poehler. She's so sweet.
And Phyllis from The Office is Sadness.
Oh, that's very good. I think the movie's at its strongest when it's doing the conceptualizing of a teenager's emotion. I think it's at its weakest when it's doing the whimsical exploration of the world, where it's not everything was mental. Sometimes it's we're going to this goofy land that represents blah blah blah, and we're just gonna look around a little bit, and we're falling. The whimsical
abstract
exploration
thought.
I didn't love. What did you like?
I like the abstract thought where they have to go through the tunnel of like abstract thought, and they're just all like changing. I'm like, that's fun. Like, I feel like it does its adventure sections pretty well. I think they're
That
fun,
didn't
and
really
they
add much
keep
to
you
me. Like, it didn't really add to the parts where I liked, where like it's conceptualizing things, where it's like, what it didn't really factor into what the character was feeling, as far as I could tell. And it just felt like the animators wanted to have goofy visual scenes, and those are the scenes where I think it's at the weakest.
I mean, Oda does that all the time in One Piece too. Like,
yeah, but in One Piece, then
or,
he makes me cry, and then he has Luffy punch Katakuri, and I'm like,
I'm pretty sure that Bradley cried. I think overall, like, it just had its nice adventure moments. I don't think it. I think you're right in that it's the weakest part, but it's the weakest part in like an overall good movie.
Yeah, I'm not saying the movie's bad. Hold up, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm not. Yeah. This is not my second controversial. I said there would be 2 controversial takes this week. This is not the second one, so don't worry.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm quivering with anticipation.
Ooh, as you should be. We're gonna keep going down. I like I said, I did a lot. I watched 2 TV shows that I'll talk in conjunction. One was Unbreakable, Kimmy, Schmidt. So when we did our sitcom tier list, I was like, I'm not sure how far I got. Turns out I got all the way to the end of season 3. I just had to watch season 4, which I did, and I thought it was super good. And then I found out that people don't like that season, and I don't know if either of you have seen that season, so I don't know.
I have not seen that season, no.
I recommend it.
Schmidt?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, I've only seen like the first few episodes, which were good.
I very much like that show because I think Kimmy is a great character.
I think we discussed this in our sitcom tier list, but Titus really kind of like wears thin on you after that first season. At least me.
I think no, absolutely. I think Titus is he has such funny lines, but as a character, he's that mean-spirited comedy 30 Rock that I don't always vibe with. And the fact that he's by the end of the story, he's still Kimmy's best friend, even though he just constantly like is not really there for her and is super selfish, rubs me off really the wrong way. However, on the opposite side, Jacqueline is so fucking funny, and I think she's selfish as well, but I think there's more humanity to Jacqueline that I end up liking.
Her whole Native American stretch is.
Holy, she's got such funny stuff going on in season 4. Other funny characters, the Yuko robots. Oh my god, just endless amounts of gags out of those fucking robots if you remember them. And there's some really funny ones in the last season too. I think people don't like the season because it went hard on like men bad, and honestly, it didn't even go that hard. It went like the sufficiently amount of hard considering that Kimmy's a fucking kidnap rape victim, and it's like, yeah, no, we're gonna talk about this a little bit.
Like, it is probably relevant to her life experience.
Yeah,
John Hamm is a bastard.
Man, okay, so there's some other stuff I gotta bring up about John Hamm. Some of the funny episodes is like Titus has to take down this Sesame Street sexual abuser, like this little puppet guy where he touches the little puppet penis and they show it, and like he has to like break him down, and it's super funny. Another good episode is like Kimmy is dating this dude just so she can hang out with his mom and dad because she didn't have a mom and dad growing up. And the dude is like, hey, can we finally go to my place and do anything sexual? She's like, oh, but we're hanging out with your parents tonight. So that's very funny. There's the last episode is pretty decent, but I could see how people would be upset as a last episode, which is where, and I don't think any of you know that this exists, the special final episode comes out.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this existed. The actual final episode of Kimmy Schmidt is a Bandersnatch interactable movie on Netflix where it's a choose your own adventure.
Fuck?
Yeah. Which is actually, weirdly enough, was like, I don't want to watch Kimmy Schmidt because I have to do this fucking bullshit now.
You should watch it because it's really good.
Okay. Everything's an NFT. Everything's Bandersnatch.
Well, that's the thing. Nothing's Bandersnatch until, like, is this the second thing that's a choose your own adventure on Netflix?
That's the so I also honestly thought like Netflix when they were doing the gaming thing was going to be more of this shit. I say shit. I think they'd be really fun to do, but apparently not. They're going to just do regular ass video games,
like mobile games from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So the special in general, I don't think it's as funny as an episode. Like, there's also a movie-length episode, episode 9 of season 4. That's like an alternate timeline that I also didn't really like very much. So I don't think the show works well in long stretches as far as humor. But where this special gets really good is the level of cameos and side paths you can take. Like, I caused a robot apocalypse by making a certain decision.
Oh my god.
There's multiple ways to kill the Reverend, which is nuts. And they get really dark with it. Like, and it's not even jokey. It's like Kimmy, like, really losing it and actually killing him when she has the chance. And if you kill him all 3 times or all 4 times, every time you make a wrong decision, a character will come out and do a little skit and prompt you back. And he was like,
This
"Whoa."
sounds like a Bradley game.
Yeah.
Bradley game. Did you play what is that P game 2 that Bradley plays?
Pathologic.
Yeah, did you play Pathologic 2 or some shit by accident?
No, not quite, but because it's just different. But if you kill the Reverend all times, you cut to him in hell with the puppet, and he's like, "Whoa, dude, you killed me every way. That's fucked up. You got some problems," and then he kicks you back. And, like, just all sorts of really funny side paths. There's one where you leave a baby behind, and then it's implied that wolves show up and kill the baby. And I think Titus comes in, and it's like... Or, no, it's Mikey, Titus's boyfriend, comes in. He's like, "Dude, that is not how Kimmy acts. Like, that is not in character. Go back." Like, you can go really hard. I think my favorite one is... Eventually you have a choice to call one of the other mole women that Kimmy was trapped with. And I call Donna Maria because they have, like, a cute relationship in the last season. She's, like, the Mexican lady who barely speaks English, who's in the bunker with them. If you go back and redo that choice and call Donna Maria again, you get taken to her restaurant's hotline. Once you go into that hotline, you get a number of options that you can dial in for, like, we'll redirect you here, redirect you here. There is an incredibly deep Easter egg if you keep following down that track, and anyone who is checking this out, try to get that Easter egg at the very least, because it's really good. Also, Daniel Radcliffe is who Kimmy's marrying in the special, and he's super funny in this. So I've never seen his, like, comedic chops, but he's got them.
Daniel Radcliffe, good actor, not just Harry Potter. Yeah.
And then
he's a funny guy.
Have you seen him in anything else funny? I guess I saw him in Swiss Army Man.
I just anytime I see him, like, outside of media, just like him being himself, I'm like, he's funny.
Good.
He's in Horns as well, which is like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
And then Guns Akimbo.
Yeah, okay. I've seen plenty of pictures of him in the Guns Akimbo set looking like a maniac.
He's in a romantic comedy that I really like. I'll have to remember the name of it. I think it's like Something Maybe, or Maybe If, where, like, he falls in love with a girl and they're like, "Oh, we'll have a platonic relationship," kind of deal, and then it's just a back and forth thing. It's a cute little movie that makes me, like, cry on the inside.
Okay. Another show I watched in this stretch of time is a show called Kevin Can Fuck Himself. I don't know where this was aired. I think you can watch it on Paramount, or you know. So Kevin Can Fuck Himself is a very interesting show where it's half sitcom, half drama.
Yes.
Kind of WandaVision-esque. So the way it works is any scene that the main character, whose name is escaping me, it's not Mavis, but I want to say it's something close to that. That's the vampire chick everyone wants to fuck. So anytime she's with her husband, Kevin, it's a sitcom, and it is like a dumbass, like, early 2000s sitcom with all the jokes that you come to expect. And you know what? It's kind of funny in a shit-eating way. I think the sitcom parts are pretty funny. And then when she breaks away from any of those scenes, it's like a drama of her realizing that her life is not what she wanted it to be, realizing how her marriage with Kevin is extremely unhappy, realizing that their dreams that they've been saving up for aren't gonna happen because he spent the money that they were saving for their, like, big move out of the city that they've been looking forward to. He spent it on some bullshit, one of his antics. And it's really interesting to see characters in the sitcom world. I think what makes the sitcom funny is that even the main character, even though she's in a bad situation, she's still funny in the sitcom scenes. They're not just like, she's the butt of the jokes, but she's also in some of the jokes, so it's not obsessively negative towards her. So
She plays the role.
She plays the role. She plays the annoying wife role, and she does it well. But then other characters, you see them outside the sitcom world, and it's really interesting. For example, like Kevin's husband has a best friend who's a complete dude bro asshole. His sister lives with him, and she shows up in the sitcom scenes, and she's like one of the guys. And then when they're out of the sitcom, the main character is like, why are you like that towards me? Like, you don't like them as much as I do, but you gang up on me because you're trying to fit in, and like they have to address that kind of stuff, and they get like a blooming friendship throughout the show. So like the sequences are intense, but they're also like the drama sequences are humorless. Like they don't save all the humor for the drama sequences. There's still some brevity in them. So like tonally, I think it's really good. I think the problem with the show is it's got a very interesting premise, but I think it does the sitcom bits too much, where like some episodes, it gets to like half of it is a sitcom bit where the main character is not even there, and it's just Kevin fucking around with the other dudes, like his dad and his best friend, and it's like, why exactly are we doing this, as much of this, when it's not really feeding into the narrative as much? And eventually the wife decides she's going to assassinate Kevin, and she's got a plan for it, and that's where the plot takes off. But like, it's really jarring when it switches from one style to the other, which leads into like a really good whiplash when you get those scenes. So interesting show. I'd like, among the shows I've watched recently, I'd like rate it like pretty close to Squid Game because it's doing so much stuff interesting. But like, the thing is, you never see Kevin outside the sitcom, and I think the fan base is really waiting to see how that's gonna play out, because I think that'll be like the big turning point of the show, to see if like what kind of person is he really outside the lens of like how goofy the sitcom is, or he's gonna be the exact same, and the entire point is like he's such a fucking doofus and selfish person that like he warps reality around him essentially to where he's just that person. Everyone has to react accordingly. So really good. I recommend it. Looking forward to season 2 though, because it like left off in a good spot where a character that we hadn't seen in the drama world breached that gap for the first time right at the season finale. It's like, well, damn it. I feel like we were just getting to the good stuff. So yeah, interesting show. What else we got? Why don't y'all talk about Battlefield real quick?
Dude, this thing, I think PlayerUnknown's Battleground had a better launch.
That's mighty words.
It's like there's permanent death drops. It's just not good. Like,
damn,
it's got a lot of promise. It's pretty simple.
There's permanent death drops? What does that mean?
Like there's bugs. Like there's so many bugs that actually make the game unplayable. Like you go into a down state and then like you just can't be revived. Like you just are in that state the rest of the game, or you leave the game. That being said, the game has a limited number of weapons, if that's what you're about. They're pretty solid. That like they're addressing bugs and hotfixes as quick as they can, and the game hasn't even like fully officially launched yet. So they're addressing as much stuff as they can before Friday when the official launch is, but it's like I can't even equip some perks onto my guns for whatever fucking reason. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I would say overall the game is pretty much like, don't think of it as much as a new Battlefield as much as you should think of it as like it's like a Mario Maker for Battlefield.
That's an interesting idea.
It's interesting in concept, but I believe there are huge flaws. They don't have like Battlefield's a big console game and PC. Like it is an average PC game, probably bigger console game a little bit. I'm going to be, I could be completely wrong, but that's just my assumption.
It's such a casually popular game like Call of Duty, where it's undoubtedly mostly on consoles, I think.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, okay? It is a casual game, whereas you're going to be creating all these intense game modes, and that's going to require you to go server hopping. Man, like, people in the new generations, that's old tech that they're trying to present in a newer way. And it's not going to be like, it's not just absurd to think that you have to go find servers, like, and you see how many players are on that server. It's just there's not a consistent way or like anything unique, I guess, to like go through servers. Is what I'm trying to say. Like the most if they wanted to actually do new tech and make something unique, they would have made it where you have all these custom game modes that are going like that you do. All right. And then you can add like, basically you're making like playlists. Okay. And other people can add onto your playlist. And then you just kind of go through them all of like matchmaking, I guess. And it's like it matchmakes you into these random game modes that you want to play in.
I think to matchmake it, they'd have to make it so like each week a custom game mode is promoted to like game of the week, depending on like popularity.
Yeah, that would be nice. And they kind of do have that already. Like they're working on it. It's just, it's not there. It's not there. That's it. It's just bug-ridden at launch that there's a lot of things that make the game frustrating. Also, this is potentially the worst user interface in a game I've ever fucking seen.
Damn.
Tyler, what do you really mean about UI? So this is like big words right now.
Like the menus to navigate are fucking awful. Like I'm looking at it right now, and you can't like. In older Battlefields, you would have each objective to capture like spawn up at the front, and then it would like downsize until you started to get close to it or something significant happened to that UI element. So like somebody pinged it. Okay, it pops up large on the screen. But no, you spawn into the game and you've got like 7 or 8 huge ass squares around you with all these D1, D2, D4 of just all this shit that you can't make it transparent. You can't downsize it. You can't do shit to it. So your screen is literally just UI filled the entire game.
Seems like a bummer when you're trying to look at 3D space and shoot a dude.
Yeah. The ping system is just god fucking horrendous.
Yeah, seems like they were struggling with it last night.
It's fascinating how every iteration of Battlefield they can make it worse. It might be a goal. It might be a design feature that they're just like.
It's a fucking design pillar at that point.
It just, what really sucks about it is honestly it's a very light hero shooter. The hero shooter aspect of it is not the worst.
That's actually where I'm concerned, and I got the 10-hour trial that I need to try out, but like
hero shooter.
Yeah, like what they did is
Overwatch?
Like a little bit, yeah. Like in this game, it's more like Apex, where characters have a unique ability that they can do, and then they can equip all sorts of other stuff. Well, like Battlefield needs to have the core classes for me to like love it. IMO.
I feel like that's its identity. Like
yeah. It's got to have the classes, the vehicles, and destruction. To me, that is Battlefield, and then like the big maps and whatever come out of the vehicles and all that.
It still has those class specifics in some aspect of it, because like some characters are like the medic. So like instead of having one medic class, there's like 2 medics now. But
then also like. The thing is, there's 2 medics, but then also anyone can equip like a version of the defibrillator, and everyone.
No. Anybody. So here's how it works, and this is how it worked in the previous Battlefield iteration. Was if someone is in your squad, you can revive them no matter what, and it does a little defib animation. Mm-hmm. If somebody is on, but you can't heal people outside of your squad unless you're the medic class. That's it.
I would need to play around with it. But I like looking at the squad and being like, okay, we're missing the sniper recon class. Or
Yeah, you can't tell what the fuck you're missing.
Yeah, like I'm missing the support class, so I can either bring the ammo or like little drones and mortar strikes that the support class can do. Stuff like that I think was really important to the identity of like the squad-based combat.
And also, like, you could like kind of like rearrange your things where it's like, okay, we're gonna go support heavy, so we have 2 mortars coming in and we have 1 medic, but we're gonna be kind of close range because we're gonna have to get up there and be close enough, and we're gonna get a shot at if we can't get these mortars down. So you get some cool dynamics, and you have to you coordinate with your team, but like I think class identity is like a really important thing in a game like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if like you have to be able to like if you it's an internal thing and a gameplay thing of like having like clear cut like this is what each thing does so that
like,
you're aware of.
There's variety within that role, but like it's still confined, and you're like, okay, and like like the recon class has multiple tools. Like I remember you could throw like a sonar ball that pings a lot of people, or you can like set up like a thing that lets you tag vehicles for airstrikes and homing rockets and stuff like that. So like
a recon can be 2 things where it's like you're the close recon that can tag everything, or the far recon that doesn't tag anything, but you're the sniper.
Yeah.
So you can like there's a breadth of what you can do, but you have your class and your like role to play in that. And
I don't. First of all, I'm not a big fan of shooters. I don't particularly like these hero shooters. I think that's. I kind of like Overwatch style, even though I don't particularly like the game very much. But like these Apex style ones, I don't know.
It's not a hero shooter. It's nowhere on par with like TF2 or
So you lied to me.
Overwatch. Like they have 10 characters and each one has a unique ability. One guy can like drop armor and stuff, and then like has a way to call in like a resupply for everybody.
It's not then it's not a hero shooter. It's operatives. Like
it's operatives.
Yeah,
and that's what they're calling them too. Like they're operators or whatever. I mean, they're gonna keep releasing more, which is a little iffy. My main squeeze, I will say, is that I really don't like how everybody looks so fucking similar all the time. I really like that everybody looked like a bunch of grunts and soldiers going out into combat. And I really miss that aspect of it.
I feel like you worded that wrong. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like everyone looked similar in the other game, but you can tell what was a medic and what was a sniper based on their clothes, and then you can also tell based on their uniform color. In this game, because everyone's an operative, it's like, and Skill Up brings it up in the video critique that he had, it's like, just at a glance, you can't necessarily tell if that guy's on your team or not, because he could be any character. He can even be you, like the same character as yourself.
But also, you can't tell if people are on your team because the fucking UI is broken, and some people just appear like they don't have any, like, there's no, like, the clear, it's just bad.
I hope I like this
marking who is an enemy and ally is bad.
Because, like, mode-wise and map-wise, I was so hooked by the trailer.
There's 2 modes. There's 2 core multiplayer modes. That's it.
Well, I mean, is it Conquest and Rush? Because that's really all you need.
It's Conquest and Conquest Rush.
They took out normal Rush?
So, what is your normal Rush?
Rush has been since
attacking
Battlefield 4.
team, defending team,
defending team, attack 2 zones, break those, get to the next 2 zones.
It's still that. You have a different definition than I do. I have Battlefield Bad Company 2 definition.
Yeah, that's what
you rush 2 zones and you have to plant a bomb.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you don't plant a bomb anymore. It hasn't been like that apparently for a while.
4 still has it that mode. Do you capture a flag there then?
Yeah, you have to capture every point in that mode and hold it securely.
Fuck that. I want to plant the bomb. I want it to be search and destroy, but cool.
That being said, like, one of their prime game modes in, what's it called?
Forge.
In Portals. Yeah, in Forge. Literally on, like, you click on Portals and right there in the front is Battlefield Bad Company 2 Rush.
Okay. Okay, good.
So they know it's people like this one more. They know.
Like I usually play Conquest in 4, but Rush in Bad Company 2 is such a well-tailored experience. So many fun times we're having.
God, Bad Company 2 is so fun.
What are we doing? Let's just go boot up Bad Company 2.
Yeah.
I think with some love and like a lot of they're gonna have to fucking work overtime to fix all these bugs and shit. Like it is horrendous.
I would like to also mention that Tyler does not speak on behalf of EA.
Yes, despite being an EA employee, these are his own opinions and such.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
That's is that Battlefield?
As a small tangent, Halo Infinite's multiplayer also came out.
Yeah, we haven't played that yet.
I played a good chunk of it last night. I had a great time. And that's all I'm going to end on.
Cool.
Yep.
Maybe we'll talk. I think Battlefield and Halo will probably squeeze into our game of the year then.
Yeah. All right.
I think you guys will play enough of those.
What's next?
Next up is I'm going to talk a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy, the video game that came out.
Oh my god.
This is the sleeper hit of 2021, I think.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, people fucking love this game. This is a lot of people's game of the
really
year.
Good. Yeah.
What? Real? I haven't even seen like what it looks like.
Well, let me tell you what it looks like. It looks incredibly gorgeous. Like this is next gen shit. The facial animations in this game are absurd. They might be the best I've ever seen.
God.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure like Red Dead 2 might have a beat. I don't know. I haven't really looked at much of that. Yeah, like the facial mocap is ridiculous in this.
I watched a short clip just because it came up on my feed, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is like someone's actual face."
Yeah,
like it's like.
But then beyond that, the environments look really nice. The lighting's super good. The textures are super good. The environments are extremely colorful, which I think part of the identity I know Guardians for is, of course, the movies. And I think something I love about those movies is the colors. It makes space look cool as opposed to just a bunch of blackness and a bunch of white dots out in the distance. It's got
blackness and white dots.
Yeah, it's not for me, dog. And yeah, like visually, technically speaking, this game is great. I've run into a couple visual bugs here and there, but you know, it's a Square Enix game, so those always have semi issues going on visually sometimes. Story-wise, I think it's really hitting for me. I haven't finished this game, mind you. I'm about like a little under halfway through. It's supposed to be like an 18-hour game, which is like maybe a tad longer than I expected, but it's also not too long. So in this game, you play as Star-Lord, as the leader of the Guardians, and
you know him well.
He's the leader of the bunch, played by Chris Pratt, as you well know. I feel bad for the Chris Pratt hate because I really like him in Parks and Rec and Guardians, and now I feel like I'm not allowed to anymore. So don't come at me.
Dude, I'm looking at clips of this game, and you guys are right. Like their faces when they talk are like holy shit. Like they mocapped like their fucking lips and nostril flaps. Like oh my god,
they mocapped their fucking cheek muscles. There's a scene where like you're talking to a girl named Nikki and her mom. And like they're kind of having, right? Cause they're having this back and forth banter, and Nikki goes, "But mom," in like the most realistic way. And I'm just like, I'm so into this scene because of the graphics. Like, there you go.
I stopped watching that clip halfway through because like I don't want to watch this anymore because I actually want to experience it for myself because I'm gonna play it later.
You should not get spoiled because I think the writing and the story is what I'm gonna talk about next. Bradley,
also the combat looks way more fun than like the Marvel game that came out recently.
That's not even in the contention. Like that Marvel game is not. We don't talk about that when we're talking.
Also,
about
it's funny because like obviously all the characters look subtly different than they look in the MCU, except for
Rocket.
Like I looked at Groot, I looked at Groot and Rocket. I'm like, okay, that's Groot and Rocket.
Rocket's fur looks insane if we're talking about graphics.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like. The writing's super good. You play as Peter, and you have the other Guardians. This is in a different continuity that is probably closer to the comics. For example, Peter, Rocket, and Groot have been traveling for a while now. Gamora and Drax recently joined the crew. They've done about 10-ish, 15 jobs together, I think they say.
Yeah.
So they're relatively new members to the group, and Drax does not trust Gamora, and Drax really likes Peter. Rocket and Peter always fighting each other. Rocket's the only one that can understand Groot, so they're trying to like learn how to deal with Groot. Gamora and Peter are having like a blooming friendship, but not really a romance, I don't think. Peter has other romance interests in this game. Gamora looks so fucking cool, by the way, in this engine. I think her design is so slick. And
She
yeah,
they really gave her that warrior woman look compared to like.
she looks badass. Her hair is like all red and spiky.
Yeah, like
shit.
I think she also has like face paint too, which isn't as pronounced.
You get a bunch of costumes as well, so you can dress them in a bunch of different ways. I've gotten some good ones. You find them through exploring. So a lot of the game, it's as far as I understand it, it's Mass Effect Light, where you're going around and constant banter, maybe too much banter, some might say. Sometimes I'll say, where it's like, I cannot believe how many fucking lines were recorded for this game. These motherfuckers will not shut up, and they're always saying something new. And it's good writing, so don't get me wrong. And Guardian jokes, sometimes they don't land, but usually they do for me. And this game is no different from the movies in that way, where it gets some good laughs out of me and then some eye rolls out of me. And it's just cool to see this team kind of come together. They're almost too mean to each other early on, because there's a lot of tension, and you're seeing them like patch that up. And decisions you make can heavily impact with the way the plot plays out. So, for example, one of the first decisions you can make is we're gonna try to sell one of our teammates to this Lady Hellbender, who's this giant hot warrior woman. Are we gonna try to sell her Rocket or Groot? Rocket is super against selling Groot because he's like, I should be the one who gets sold if we're gonna do this. I don't want to put Groot in trouble. Groot votes for Rocket. Gamora thinks Groot's the better idea because he makes for a better, more interesting monster. And Drax votes that Rocket should be sold because he's annoying. So it's up for Peter as the captain to break the stalemate. And depending how you make that decision, the mission plays out differently. And the game just has all sorts of moments like that. And the writing is really hitting. You cut back to Peter's life in the night before he got taken to space, I think is what I'm gathering, where it's like, it's his birthday, and he's in this room, and it's like this really well idealized like 80s room. He's like a teenager with a black eye that he got in a fight, and he's got a mullet because he looks like a total douchebag, as he would. And he's listening to rock music, and this game has a ton of licensed music, as well as like music made by a made-up band called Star-Lord, which is what he named himself after. So they got like a made-up band to make a whole album for this, which is pretty cool.
Cool. That's rad.
So I've been killing dudes with Take On Me playing. I've been killing dudes with Rickroll playing. I've been Rickrolled.
Oh, yeah. So there's a mechanic where like basically you'll do a huddle, and like depending on the situation, you have to make the correct dialogue choice. And if you do, you get like I think a buff in combat, and you get the music playing.
Yeah. So you get in a huddle, and everyone's like, Peter, what are we gonna do? I want to get back in the fight, and then you like if you give them the right pep talk, they all get revived, they all get a buff, and the music starts playing while you're fighting, which is pretty cool.
Oh, Bravely Default mechanics. I love it.
Ah, yes.
But like that's shit I want narrative-wise in a game that makes you want to pay attention to what is being said on the screen. Like it was kind of a little bit the thing of what I liked about Persona is that you had the conversations and you wanted to raise your confidence level with them. And to do that, if you give them the correct answers, it raises it up faster. So you're like, all right, I gotta be invested in what this person is saying. So like that's kind of what I want from your narrative. And like if you're going to have like dialogue be a function of your game, I feel like it needs to be like that, where it's like I need to see what this person is saying, and that ties into the gameplay. It's the same thing like Phoenix Wright, because that whole game is about like solving like the mystery, and you have to pay attention to how people are saying things and when they're not saying things, and it's what makes it interesting. Like dialogue, like it's just like when it's talking is nothing to me. But I really like that mechanic. It kind of was like, oh, that's really cool.
There's cool things too, where like stuff you find around your missions, you can bring back to the ship. The Milano, it's called. The ship looks fantastic too. It's such a cool hub area. It's big, and everyone's got their rooms, and there's a lot of personality on that ship. And you bring it back, and then you can talk, like if it's an item that Rocket would want to talk about, you talk to him about it and you get some backstory and you have a discussion with him. A cute thing that I ran into is we finished the mission and I went to my room and then I fucked around a little bit. I talked to some people and then I went back to the front of the piloting area of the ship. And Gamora was like on a website shopping for dolls because she's got a doll collection that like she's not embarrassed about, but she just really does not want to talk to you about her fucking dolls, right? Like she doesn't want to get teased for it. She's like, Quill, everyone has hobbies. We're not going to talk about it. And then she like you walk in on her doing doll shopping and she's like, you didn't see anything. And then you like get a cute conversation about that and like your hobbies and stuff like that.
You know what? This sounds like it has exactly what I like about. Well, there's actually a lot I like about Guardians of the Galaxy, but what I really like is just those little moments of like interaction between the crew members, and it sounds like this has it.
It's got tons. It's got like you can get Drax to throw Rocket across a ravine, and then he gets pissed at you. It's like, okay, don't do that again. Rocket hacks your visor in the first mission, and he's like, we're gonna have a shoot-off contest, Quill. There's all these like goopy things on the wall. It's like whoever kills most of these owes the other one some money. And it was so cool because there was a point I was super ahead, and then throughout the level he started catching up, and then we got to like neck and neck, and then we both fell down a hole and the light turns on and there's one right in front of us and it becomes like a quick draw moment.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
It's cool because I got the last one that was possible, and that's how I broke the tie, so that like just felt really good. The thing about this game that I'm mixed on is the combat a little bit. And I think it's because I came in with the wrong expectations. So you're controlling Peter the whole time, and you get a slew of abilities, and then you send commands out to the Guardians, and they do attacks. However, you only unlock 4 attacks per Guardian, and then 4 attacks for Peter, and then a bunch of perks. And the perks aren't too crazy, but there's some cool ones, like Bayonetta style, like slow-mo dodges and stuff like that. And I do have to say I was a little underwhelmed when I saw the amount of stuff I'd be unlocking, but also it feels tightly designed where I am noticing like the right time to use like a certain rocket ability as opposed to another rocket ability. So I guess I think it's panning out well, and the combat's getting more and more interesting as we're going along. I came in expecting maybe like a bit of a action RPG when it's really more like a shooter RPG, what I think Mass Effect is. I don't really know much about Mass Effect, but I think this is Mass Effect.
That sounds right. Mass Effect has the same kind of thing where like everybody has like 4 or 5 skills that you can upgrade, and then you need to use the skills in the correct situation. So like if something has armor, you need to shoot an armor piercing rocket with, you know, someone else's ability. Or if someone has like a shield, you need to use the shield ammo with someone else, and so on and so forth. And you can combo like psychic attacks. So it's a lot like that. So, which is really good because I really like that combat system. It's a lot of fun, I think.
It's warming up on me. I gotta say, it's getting kind of addicting. I stopped playing because I needed to finish another game, but I'm going back to finish this, and I want to finish it before we do Game of the Year. So, actually recommended for maybe everyone here. I think it's a good time. It's a short, like it's one of those wide linear games where you're like Uncharted, just going and going to side paths to get like fun exclusives. But you're making decisions that change what that linear path becomes. So I think it's cool. I think that like single player hero game that's not that bullshit that Avengers became, you know, like just a good product. Everyone's in love with this game. Like it's getting really good reviews. People like the writing. People are warming up to the combat. So they kind of knocked it out of the park, surprisingly.
I was kind of sold in the combat when I first saw the first trailer. I'm like, oh, this is simple but effective. I'm like, cool, let's do it.
That's accurate. And the enemy encounters they throw at you are varied and interesting enough to keep you going. Yeah. Joe, talk about Dune for a little bit. I've been talking for a while.
So Denis Villeneuve's, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Villeneuve's Dune Part 1 came out. Nearly a month ago. No, about half a month ago. So I've read Dune. Bradley, I think you've read Dune as well.
I did not read Dune.
You did not read Dune. Okay, I'm thinking of Ryan then.
Yeah.
So as a personal note, I think the book Dune might be one of my like top 5 books I've ever read. Sure. I really like Dune. And Dune is like the like sci-fi kind of like modern sci-fi is basically just like comes like branches off of Dune, basically. Like if you want to know where sci-fi came from in the modern era, you go back to Dune.
When I found out that this predated Star Wars,
yeah,
I think that said a lot.
Yeah. In fact, like there's a lot of stuff in Star Wars that like is definitely inspired by Dune. I think Dune as a book does a great job of dramatic irony and like getting you the idea of like seeing where all the pieces are going and realizing the car crash that is happening and like having you like see how the characters deal with it. And it does a great work of like character assumptive play and the idea of like you can't eliminate the human element from life because it's kind of what drives motivation for everything. I feel like the Dune movie is very, very pretty. And I can't say more until I see the rest of it because the movie ends on a really weird note in a really weird scene. And it's like a third into the book is when it ends.
Oh, shit. That's a little alarming.
Yeah.
That's going to be Stormlight when the Stormlight movie comes out.
Yeah. It's just like, and I think a big part about it is Paul. Paul in the book is I'm gonna say something that's not a spoiler, but it's essential for you to know. I don't think it's explained in the book. Paul is a genetic freak. Basically, his mother is part of a lineage of these space sorcerers that are trying to breed the Messiah of the universe, who can basically see the future and like be able to like see what's going to happen and control it.
Now, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I also watched Dune. I did not read the book.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it with my partner. She hated it, by the way. So that was fun. But I like this movie, but I not quite as much as others. Now, I felt like I got that part of the plot, despite not having read the book. But I think I got a lot of the plot, so I have issues elsewhere. But just to preface that, I think I got the genetic manipulation. Like he's got the Metroid DNA, he's got the Torha DNA. I followed.
But the thing is like Paul in the book that you get a very distinct feeling that there are two Pauls you are basically like watching. There is Paul the human who's a boy that is growing up, that wants to be a soldier, that wants to make his dad proud, that like is devastated about what is happening. And then there's Paul the Kizawatch Heterak, who is the Messiah, who can see the future. And like there's like when he gets influenced by the spice, he turns into this other person, and like his brain starts like going crazy.
I might be alone here, but I didn't get that vibe from the movie.
That's the problem in the movie. Is like I feel like this is essential because there's like one key moment where like Paul breaks down and like blames his mother for his entire life, basically, because it's like you made a decision to make me this way, and now I am like this, and now I'm not a normal person. I don't know what's happening to me. Blah 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 blah. So like, and it's kind of the important moment in the book because this is right after like this huge event that happens in the movie and the story. It's like the low point of like their entire family. So I feel like Paul
remember that scene. So
but like they're in the tent and whatever in the desert. Yeah.
Okay, they were whispering a lot that scene. I will say.
That's the other thing. There's too much fucking whispering in this movie.
Yeah, tone it down a bit.
I fucking hate it. Like, just talk normally. I think, but like Dune is a great way of like foreshadowing itself and like setting up dramatic irony. There's a character in this book that like doesn't get its backstory, which is really stupid because he's really important to what happens in this in this movie.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's just like you have to have that in there. But like looking at the I think the movie is I still enjoyed the movie. I just really want to see how the rest of it happens and how the rest of it goes.
I'm worried that they have to put 2/3 of a book into the second movie. I feel like they're gonna cut out a shit ton.
So a lot of the other parts of the movie is them like wandering around the desert, and they can definitely like tone that down a bit because they talk about like they also eliminated my favorite chapter in the book because they kill off a character earlier than they're supposed to. It makes me very upset, but it's one of my favorite. Like character has a self reflection of like how they realizing the gift that their forefather gave them and then dying just as they realize it. But overall, I like Dune. I think this movie is gorgeous. I think it has some great, like, just still shots of, like, man, that's just incredible looking. But that's all I have to say on it now. So go ahead, Willer.
I think Paul's an interesting character because, like, he didn't really stand out to me. Mm-hmm. I feel like the movie hinges a lot on him, which is probably why I didn't love this movie. I liked it, but, like... I think Paul didn't come off as a particularly strong character, and what you're saying about him is cool, and elements of that are in the movie. And like I think Timothy Chalamet is a really good actor, but I don't know if he was given much to work with script wise here.
A lot of the book is internal monologue. The other thing is Jessica is basically the second protagonist of the book, and she isn't as much in this movie as I think she should be.
Near the end, I felt like, wow, she's sticking around for a while. I guess I should pay more attention to like her storyline at that point.
Like in the book, because Paul is like the heir to this like dukedom, basically. Yeah. In the book, Jessica's having to play the political chess for him because he has to learn everything else, like how to run an army, what life in Dune is and what the economy is. So Jessica has to screen all the political stuff for him. So you have this whole like side plot where she's trying to identify dissent within their nation, basically. And so she's really interesting to follow and see how her
and that's upcoming stuff then?
No, that happens there.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no. I think this movie does really good world building. But you know, everyone's praising the visuals and the cinematography, and I kind of maybe got overhyped because I came off really neutral. It's like, yeah, it was fairly pretty. I've seen prettier. I've seen a lot. Like people are talking about like this is a big step forward, but Villeneuve has worked on Blade Runner 2049, whatever the most recent one is, and Arrival. And I watched both of those, and I can confidently say both of those have very stunning visuals for me. I
think Blade Runner looks way better.
Yeah, I think even Arrival, which is like a more toned down, I think it does cooler stuff visually. But like, what were people's like favorite shots in this? Because I can think of like when he's standing in front of, say, the big worm, and he goes, "Take that, you worm." And it's like the scale in this movie is great. You're seeing these big mechs, you're seeing these big worms, you're seeing this big desert. But like, I can't really point out any time I thought like the visuals were particularly interesting or pretty. I guess the scene was getting like he's using that hologram to learn, and there's the little drone trying to track him down. I thought that scene was pretty visually cool because of the way he's standing in the light. I think the visuals are a little overrated.
I can think of a few. There's this scene where Jessica is talking to the rest of I forget what their fucking names are, but the rest of her order, and they're walking through the fog.
And they're walking with the light beacon thing following them. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then Jessica and Paul are like talking to each other, but like as the conversation goes, the fog becomes like more dense, and it gets this feeling that like Paul's realizing he doesn't really know who his mom is and what she's really been plotting this entire time. So I thought that was a really cool visual indication of that. I just wish they actually talked in a regular tone and weren't whispering the entire time. There's this scene where Oscar Isaac's character has to sign over the official decree of him taking over Dune, and like you have the big ship and you have everyone lined up. I thought that was a really cool shot. The shot with the sandworm attacking the spice crawler, I thought was another cool like
that whole sequence was probably the best sequence in the movie for me.
Yeah, I think the biggest visual hates I have are with the flash forwards, like that the precognition that like Paul's have
because Zendaya moments. Yes.
Yeah, Zendaya, who is in the movie but not in the movie.
She's in the marketing, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think those are like, I don't know. I didn't really vibe with them. Like, I felt like I only understood like what they were trying to show because I had read the book, and so it was really making my brain like fry itself because it was trying to.
I understood the premonition aspect, but I didn't even start to begin trying to piece together what they mean. In fact, they kind of started to contradict each other near the end, which you had to explain to me.
Which is important. And which is important. Like, all that's intentional.
Said, I'm very excited actually for book 2 because the thing is, this book gets you excited to see where it goes, even though it's not necessarily the most exciting or interesting movie the whole way through for me.
It's also, very droll.
The action's kind of lame for the few action scenes there are. Like, I'm thinking of the hallway fight, and I was like, that wasn't particularly cool.
Or the scene where they're going up the stairs. I'm like, that's might be the most action intense scene in the movie. It's like, all right, it's done.
I think the most action intense scene in the movie is not even a real scene too, so that's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to Dune 2 in like 2 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I will say that, like, when I was reading Dune, I went in kind of being. I'm also going to highly recommend everyone read the Dune book. I think the book is phenomenal.
I'm not going to do that.
Dune, yeah, whatever, Tyler.
Hey, Joe. I'll read Dune if you read Pact.
No, I already have my fucking price for Pact.
What was it?
I don't know what it was.
I haven't said it yet. I'm waiting for the right time to do it.
Okay.
Is now the right time live on podcast?
Nope.
Also, y'all, I'm doing I'm doing Game Awards voting while we're doing this, just because Guardians of the Galaxy has got me thinking, like, okay, well, what games are good this year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what got nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards?
Dredd did.
Metroid fucking Dread, bitch. Also, It Takes Two is on here a lot, and I really like that game.
Yeah. You're gonna be you're the only who can speak on it.
Yeah,
this year.
It Takes Two. I mean, I'm barely into this, and it's already gotten 3 nominations, which is very impressive.
Oh, other hot kind of thing. Our friend Briley has a game up for nomination for Game of the Year.
Right, we gotta plug that bit.
Which one is it?
Before Your Eyes.
Before Your Eyes.
Our friend Briley's game got nominated for Impact, best game of Impact, or what it's called.
Yeah. Most impactful game.
She worked on the concept art, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which art she worked on, but she did work on it.
Yeah. So if you like that game, you should go vote for it on the Game of the Year.
Ooh,
it was a small team.
Wait, best performance of 2018. Should I vote for Giancarlo Esposito? For Far Cry 6?
Maybe. What are the other options?
The other options, some hoe in Life is Strange. That I can't pronounce her name. I'm so sorry, my dear, but she plays Juliana in Deathloop.
That's the one.
Oh, that's the one.
There's Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village.
Ooh, that's another good
and then
one.
I still think
yeah.
Oh wait, so there's 2 characters from Deathloop. There's Colt and there's
Juliana. The main character. I think it's got to be Juliana.
Juliana.
Yeah.
I'll vote for y'all. There you go.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyways, what I want to wrap up saying is that I went into reading Dune thinking it was going to be an old man's book, that it was going to be boring and just was going to be very outdated. I couldn't be more wrong if I tried. I think that this book is remarkable and stands this time.
That's so funny.
So I highly recommend this book.
I feel like Cosmonaut Marcus on Twitter would have said the exact opposite. I came in expecting an old man book, and that's what I got, and I loved it because that's like how he talks about it.
It is an old man book where it's dry, but like it didn't feel archaic. That's the thing. Is like it didn't feel like it just didn't feel like an old book. Like I didn't understand what's happening because of the language it was written in. It's good. I'm getting there.
Y'all, I'm about to go ham here for a little bit. Bear with me.
Yeah.
In between podcasts, I finished 2 Yakuza games. So I went ham. I snapped. Now, to be fair, one of them is Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. Came out last year. Came out on consoles this year. Either way, it's gonna be in Game of the Years. I was partway through it, but like I did a majority of it since last podcast, so there's that. That one's the turn-based RPG. Tyler and Bradley were able to see some of this game. I think as far as a turn-based RPG goes, it's super good.
It looks fucking fun as shit.
The combat's really good. It has a lot of stuff where it's like based on positioning, different things can happen. For example, if you're gonna go attack a dude and he's by a pick-upable item, you will pick up that item and smack him with it instead to do boosted damage. Or if someone's on the ground and you go do a basic attack, you do a Yakuza Stomp that does extra damage. But then inversely, if you try to go attack a dude and there's an enemy in between y'all, the enemy's going to push you away and cancel your attack. And likewise, if you attack when you're next to an ally, you guys will do a quick team-up attack. And that's just all mechanics based on the attack button. Because then you get like your skills, which are very Dragon Quest inspired, because the game is very Dragon Quest inspired in general. So everything I said good about the Dragon Quest combat is evident in this game as well. Like it's really meaty and good as far as the combat goes. And I sunk a good amount of time into it. I played it in about 50 hours and did a fair bit of side content. Because in Yakuza games, it's like there's just so much side content that you're never going to catch me 100%ing one. It's impossible. I could hardly even do like all the submissions because there's so many, in a timely manner. And I'm trying to catch up with the series. This game is not part of the main 6 games, 7 if you count 0. It does not feature Kiryu or Majima as the main characters. It has a new character called Ichiban. Ichiban's story is that he was born in a whorehouse and he was raised there. And by both the owner as well as kind of like the girls that would come in and out of the soapland, as it's called. And that's just, he grew up on the streets. He was abandoned as a child, and there's a very cool twist later in the game about the circumstances in which he was abandoned. And he eventually joins a certain Yakuza family. He becomes intensely loyal to the patriarch named Arakawa. One day, early in the game, you have to take the fall for another family member's murder. And Ichiban, the sweet-headed idiot that he is, has been waiting his whole life for a moment like this. So he jumps on the opportunity. He serves like 18 to 20 years in prison, which is longer than his original prison sentence.
Oh.
And then Chapter 2 starts, and you're out of prison, and you're gonna go meet with your patriarch, and you find out that he's A, part of the rival clan, the Omi Alliance, B, not talking to you and having his goons stop you from talking to you, and his lieutenant is actively antagonizing you if you try to approach him. And he didn't keep contact with you the entire 20 years that you were in prison. And that's where we kick the story off. Ichiban gets absolutely fucked by this situation. And it sucks because he's such a loyal dude, but because of his upbringing, I don't know the nice way to say it. I think he straight up has schizophrenia. Because the game doesn't ever diagnose it, but I think a lot of people might agree with me here because Ichiban sees the world as a JRPG. In his days growing up in the Soapland, he was in the back while, Soapland business was happening, playing Dragon Quest 3, 4, and 5. And that's how he grew up, and he's a huge fan of, like, actually Dragon Quest name drop. They don't, like, change the name or anything. They reference Dragon Quest.
Really?
Explicitly. And he sees himself as someone who wants to, even though he's in a life of crime and Yakuza or whatever, he wants to see himself as a hero. And his main class is the class of a hero as well. So that's pretty cool. And that's why the game,
Like a Dragon. Yeah.
Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon's a double. It's a double entendre because it's like Dragon Quest, but also Kiryu, who is the dragon.
It's a triple entendre because Yakuza is called Ryo ga Kokuto in Japanese, which means like a dragon. So you know how Resident Evil is Biohazard? And
I see. Yeah,
it's the exact same thing. So that's pretty cool.
So it's Resident Evil.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a really good game. It's got some good, like, all these games have some good side stories. So I'll name some of my favorites. There's one where you find a spicy pot of kimchi, and you have to go around town giving it to people in need, such as old ladies that can't cross the street and people trying to do marathons so that they eat the kimchi and start running really fast. There's one where this homeless dude is like, hey, I have this pet crawfish. I need you to go save it for me. And you're like, okay, I'll go find it. You find the crawfish, you bring it back, and then he brings out a knife. And he's like, all right, time to eat. And Ichiban's like, no, dude, I got attached to the crawfish. So you have to go on this other side quest to save the crawfish's life. And once you do that, the crawfish becomes part of an app called Pound Mates, where you can phone people up to come fight for you, and becomes a summon. So you have to go on this whole side quest to get a summon that is a crawfish.
Cool.
There's a intensive side mini game where you have to run a business, and I think I described it on the Discord, so I won't go into too in depth here, but it goes so fucking hard on this business sim where you go hiring people, you have to buy locations to manage, you have to give people holidays so that they don't stress out, you gotta work on promoting them, you have to do shareholder meetings, which are alternate RPG battles with like a gacha-esque combat system. It's nutty. I spent a lot of hours. I maxed that out, and by the end of it, if you max it out, you get a party member that you can only get from that mode, which is insane. And you get an attack that lets you orbital strike someone from a satellite. So, very cool stuff. I used a lot of that. Flaws I have with this game are actually, and this is a really rare complaint, the story a little bit I didn't quite mesh with, and I don't think this is a popular opinion because I think people like the story. Yakuza games have phenomenal stories. I think this one has a weak middle portion where, okay, I told you that beginning, right? That seemed like a really good plot setup, right? You wake up and you're in a homeless den in a different town than you. So you start in Kamurocho, which is where you play most of the Yakuza games. This game introduces Inchinjo, which is a different town in Yokohama. And Inchinjo is, first of all, my favorite location in any Yakuza game. It's fantastic to explore. It's massive. But, like, you go on this entire side story about handling the 3 crime divisions in Yokohama, which is, like, a Japanese Yakuza gang, a Korean mafia, and a Chinese mafia. And they're all pretty interesting and fleshed out in their own way, but you kind of start losing sense of what the initial plot premise was, and I feel like that hurts. Like, is this important? Like, how is this going to feed back into the story? And I don't think it fed back in particularly well. And then it finishes fairly strong as well with a really good twist near the end. So yeah, in a rare occurrence, I thought the story was a bit lacking, but a lot of good like you get a whole RPG party, and I like all the members. There's a lot of good friendship moments in this, but it also the combat's really goofy, and like you're shooting orbital strikes and summoning crabs, like I said, and it gets insane. The problem is Yakuza games are really stupid and funny. However, when it's time to have the serious fight, they are so gripping. I need to show y'all the final boss of the next game I'm going to talk about, because it is peak action directing. Like, it's better than any action movie you've ever seen. Just the way the camera and the strikes look, it's fantastic. But when it's one boss against 4 hobos, where like one is a girl idol, one is like a literal hobo that uses a lighter to breathe fire on you, and one's a dude with a police baton, and you're a dude pretending to be a hero with your baseball bat, it kind of takes away from those serious moments. So none of the bosses feel as intense as they do in any of the Yakuza games as well. That's enough out of Yakuza 7. I've been playing Lost Judgment, so I started this in between podcasts and played 56 hours and completed it literally before we start. I'm actually on the last cutscene, and that's what I'm gonna do as soon as we finish the podcast. Because I was playing it right up to when we started this. Lost Judgment. I have not loved a game like this in a while. I was deeply addicted to this game. It was like eating a juicy, greasy burger every day. Oh my god, they refined so much in this game. So I've talked about Judgment before, as you guys will recall. Judgment is the other side series where you play as Yagami, who's a lawyer who no longer practices and instead is a detective now, but he still has his lawyer's badge. And I remember when I described the plot of Judgment, you guys seemed really into it. So the premise of Judgment was already really good. I'll I won't go into it now, but it's in the archive somewhere, one of our podcasts. But Judgment picks up right after. It's got the same cast of main characters and introduces some new ones. And this game, first of all, and this applies to Yakuza 7 as well, these next-gen Yakuza games are so pretty. You kind of get lost when you're playing a Yakuza game, and you don't stop to realize how much detail is in every inch of this city. Like, they don't take any shortcuts to making this city feel alive. Even buildings you're never going to interact with have unique decor. You walk into a Popo Mart, which is like their CVS, and every single every single shelf is stocked with individual items that are meticulously rendered and detailed. And you walk around, and the lighting is fucking gorgeous in the new gen model the new gen engine that they're using. So it's a freaking looker. You play this one in Kamurocho and Ichijo as well. But Ichijo is where we went in Yakuza 7, and this is the follow-up to that, I guess, chronologically, as far as games that the studio has released. So it's the first time you get to do that in an action game, because this one's not an RPG. It's still an action RPG. Or like more beat-em-up, perhaps, you could say the Yakuza games are. I've always gone on record to say Yakuza games combat is not particularly good. It's fun. But there's a lot of bullshit in it, and you're just trying to do stylish shit on people. I will say they finally made a combat system that's genuinely well-designed and fun, and feels and looks incredible. I felt like such a badass. Yagami has 2 new styles in this game. So it has a crane style and a tiger style, which he always had. So, like, crane style is all about AoE attacks and quick moves, and, like, you can now do, like, Matrix-style crane jumps that slow down time. And then you do, like, Neo kicks and shit from the air. And then Tiger Style is more about, like, 1v1s and targeting down a single dude and just doing charge attacks. And you unlock moves where you skate on a skateboard and ride it off people's faces, so that's really fun. And then you get a new style called the Snake Style, which is really important narratively, and for reasons I'll get here in a second. Snake Style is all about anti-weapon and deflection, so it's kind of busted because at any point of your combo, if you time a parry right, you will deflect a dude's attack. And you can inflict fear. And if you inflict fear on an enemy, you can instantly take them out with what's called an EX surrender attack, where Yagami will, like... He has different animations for this, but one of them is, like, he comes up to you and he punches you an inch from your face and makes you pass out. Or he, like, kicks you from an inch from your face. Or, like, he does this move where he does a flip kick and he kicks you in the face. But if you're doing the EX surrender version... the kick lands right, like, next to their head, and then they surrender. So this is really important, because the plot of Judgment, or Lost Judgment, rather, is that Yagami gets tasked with researching a bullying problem at a Japanese high school. And this leads to one of the most riveting plots I've ever sat through, where it gets tied up very early on with a... So Yagami has some lawyer buddies, and they get a dude. I'm gonna say get a dude off, which always makes y'all laugh. What is the proper way to say that? It's not indict, but I don't know. They get a dude off. They liberate a man. Actually, they fail to liberate him. Basically, this dude gets caught for groping a woman on a train station, and then he's in trial, and he's being a jackass. He's not even defending himself. And as soon as his verdict gets declared, he says, okay, there's a corpse in this building in Ichijo that's been there for 2 weeks. His name is this. Go find it. And everyone's like, wait, what? We haven't heard anything about this corpse. How the fuck do you know that? You've been in prison the last 2 weeks. Essentially, this dude has created an alibi to avoid murdering his son's bully. And he's spitting in the face of the justice system because, as it turns out, the strongest enemy in the world is a high school bully who will drive someone to suicide but then not be properly punished for it because it's a child, and schools will cover up bullying problems. And that's kind of where the plot takes off. And the big theme is bullying, and you're following this case and, like, this cover-up, and you start learning about other bully incidents, and you start learning about other bully killers, and it gets freaking insane. And I was, like, getting really sad at how the plot was resolving here at the end at these last few cutscenes. It goes hard, and it gets dark for a story that starts about like, haha, hello fellow kids, I'm your new school advisor for your club, and then you're talking about the shit that's going on in those last cutscenes. It's like this gets really heavy. Which leads me to the main side attraction of this game. So last game had the management sim. This one has Yagami infiltrating school clubs to learn about a criminal in the underground called the Professor. So that's two of the professors that I've taken out this year in video games. One in The Great Ace Attorney, one in this. And they're both named after Sherlock Holmes, so that tracks. And what happens is you join the Mystery Research Club, which is a club featuring a young, spunky 18-year-old senior girl who ditches all her classes to go solve mysteries, and she's a great character. And her brother, who's just there to like read manga at the club and not do shit. And she wants you to go infiltrate 10 other clubs in the school and learn how the professor connects to them. This is like a whole side story that took like 15 plus hours to complete. So it's just like a really extensive set of sub-stories where it's like, okay, I'm joining the dance club now. I'm going to practice with them and help them be their advisor because their advisor doesn't show up anymore. So now we have to do this dancing mini game where Yagami dances like an idiot, and you go through this entire, like, you go through multiple shonen sports storylines for each of these clubs that are all unique and have great characters. Like for the dance club, you have to find someone who's being a sugar bunny and getting into trouble where like she's dating older men and getting paid for it and like kind of scamming people. And it's all because the professor facilitated her getting into this. Or you have to join a boxing ring where one of the dudes is being suspected for being the payback boxer, where he dresses up at night and go beats up dudes with his boxing skills, and you have to like discover what the deal is with him, which unlocks this entire boxing mini game, which then unlocks moves for your fourth style in this game, which is a boxing style. And by the way, Bradley, you need to play. Well, you don't work on Nexusys anymore. Nexusys needs to go play this game to see what a good boxing mini game feels like.
Yo,
because it's pretty fucking fun. One of my favorite clubs, but also the most hated club, is the Robotics Club, and I can't believe how fucking intricate this gets. You make these little robots, and you get to customize your robot and 2 AI partners, and you have to pilot them to like pick up Tetris blocks, and then put them like. Do y'all remember how Dungeon Dice Monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh works? Where you like slowly unravel dice to like make a path.
I had Dungeon Dice Monsters for Game Boy Advance and I played it.
Oh, I played the fuck out of that game. This game kind of works like Dungeons Dice Monsters, where you have to like create a path with these blocks that you pick up and then you place down. And the enemies are also trying to pick them up. And they have weapons and different classes. So you have tanks that can hunker down on a spot and wait for the block to spawn. Or you get dudes that can like shoot grenade launchers, like little robot grenade launchers that do AoE damage. I rocked the fast boy with a drill. So I would just like speed boost to because only the leader can drop the block. So I would speed boost to the drop area and then like start dropping them and then drill into people if I run into trouble. And like the customization for this is insane. Like it's a whole big ass sub game. Problem is the AI can be incredibly stupid. But that actually became a whole shonen story of its own, because by the end of the game, they make you play with this set machine for the last round, and it wasn't a fast boy like I was used to, so I was like, fuck, I can't trust my AI partners to go get the blocks for me. So I actually shifted around my team and their AI chips a little bit, and lo and behold, my useless teammate the whole time that had been like bad the whole time started zooming around and picking up the blocks for me. And it was just like a weird character development moment that was like created strictly through gameplay. The only problem I have with these is like there's a boxing club, a dancing club, a motorcycle club where you do death battles on motorcycles, which is like combat on motorcycles for real. There's a skate club and there's this robotic club. All of those go on for definitely too long. You have to do way too many missions for each. For example, like to clear the dancing minigame, I had to do 23 songs, which is quite a lot. And I had to play like 25 matches of the robotics minigame. So like, while I thought all the minigames were fun, I thought the long ones especially were a little overdone. There's also 5 short clubs that are very quick to do, and those are pretty good. I like the length of those a little better. So yeah, I completed all of that. I did almost every side mission. I learned almost every skill. Like I haven't gone this hard on a Yakuza game since Zero, and that says a lot because Zero sucked me in so hard, and I've been just kind of playing them and completing them for the most part. But I did so much of the side content for this one, so highly recommend. If anyone wants to get into the Yakuza games, I think 7 and Judgment 1 are good ones to get into. And then Zero is also another good one to get into, which Joe never completed. Rest in peace.
I think my biggest regret was getting on my computer because I realized as I was playing this game, it's like I want to play this on the couch and kind of just relax while I play it.
Joe, you should try Judgment. I think you'd really like it. And then most importantly,
I do want to try Judgment.
Judgment 2 is so. I think it's my favorite Yakuza game. I never thought something would beat Zero.
I think it's funny you say that because I hear from the reviews that people thought Lost Judgment was a lot worse than Judgment.
I haven't seen any of those reviews. What I did see was a Skill Up review where he hated the game because you're beating up children. And this is where the snake style comes in because canonically what's happening is Yagami's tossing them around and then using EX surrenders on them. And also you start fighting the school children pretty early on in the story and start fighting gang members again. So it's like, I like beating up those kids. They were fucking assholes. They were like, the bullying in this game is incredibly uncomfortable, and they made those kids very punchable. Oh man, there's this point of the story where you get footage of a kid's final bullying moments before he jumps off a roof, and it is incredibly hard to watch. Like they going very hard with this game. It's fantastic. I fucking loved it. I love where the story went. And like I said, I think my Yakuza ranking right now, for anyone keeping track, it goes Lost Judgment 0, Judgment 1, Yakuza 7, and then Kiwami 2, which is the remake of 2, and then 1 and 3 kind of fall in somewhere down there. They're still good. I need to finish 4. That's what I was playing before I started going hard on these games, and I was really liking 4. So look forward to that next year. Oh, I'm Yakuza out. You guys need to finish this podcast for me.
Okay.
What else do we have?
We got Arcane and Internals.
Oh,
Arcane.
We can do Arcane fast.
We'll do this really quickly. Arcane. I've watched the first 3 episodes. Shockingly, kind of impressed and really enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch the next 3 at some point. I might just wait until the last 3 come out. Just watch them all at the same time. I don't know. I really enjoyed the storyline. To like not like we have some people in our Discord that are like really into it. I'm like, this is good. I'm just impressed that they were able to take League of Legends lore and make it into a comprehensible story. But they're also doing a very small section of it. But
here's controversial take 2. I primed y'all for it. This is being very overrated. This it's not just people on the Discord, but like from 3 episodes in, they were already giving it 10s out of 10s. Also, I've seen it like on Reddit and Twitter. This is like what is interesting about this story to people? It is such a basic story with such basic dialogue.
It's
am I
the
wrong?
art. It's the art, and I think it's the character designs. It's got some very. I think it has a lot of like LGBTQ like positivity in it, and I think a lot of people are identifying with that, and so that's what's making much on. Not that they shouldn't. I think they should.
That's even more. That's more of even the second half. Because I thought the first 2 episodes were so fucking basic. The 3rd episode is really good. So like I agree. So again, like this show, but oh my god, people are like going nuts for this. I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something because the narrative is just so normal. But also, I think it's people that don't necessarily. I think it's people that don't watch as many TV shows or movies as I do, maybe, that are like being super impressed about this, or like a wider variety of stuff. Because like this is a cool action cartoon. With like I
think Arcane hits the line of like we can use cartoons as a medium that can tell like decently mature plot lines, and I think this has just hit that note where it's spread far enough that people are like really impressed by it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
it's definitely mature for,
yeah.
and then maybe that's where the people are seeing the uniqueness in it because it's a mature cartoon. But then I'm like, yeah, but Invincible came out this year, and I thought like that was really
Yeah, but I think this looks way better than Invincible.
Oh yeah,
in
definitely.
terms of like style. That's you can't forget that. It's the art style that really draws people in.
I think the models, I think the character designs don't look good. Like Caitlyn looks really bad.
I on the other end, I think they look great.
However,
I think everyone in that show looks.
The special effects look incredible in this show. Oh my god, fire! They make fire and explosions look so good.
They make smoke look good, which is weird. But like it like there's a point where like a building collapses and like the dust is coming down from it, and like that looks so pretty. I just like.
I haven't watched episode 6 yet. I watched 4 and 5 while I was in Dallas this weekend. And it's been pretty good. I'm excited for this part of the season after the setup's been happening. I gotta say, you know what I complained about with Ali earlier this podcast?
Yeah.
I hate Jinx. That's a bad character for similar reasons. I have no empathy for that character, and that's all I got to say about that. All right. That's Arcane. I'm going to finish the season for sure. It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. It's just like people are like, I'm getting like best shows of all time vibes from a lot of people, and it's spooky. Mm-hmm. But you know, different tastes and whatnot. Bradley
have
really
anything
like
about
this.
it? Have you not watched it?
No. Whenever they announced that they were making a League of Legends, like a show based in the League of Legends universe or whatever, I was really excited, mostly because all of their little animated cinematics look fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this show's gonna look incredible.
It does.
And I've heard that it does. What I was disappointed with is they chose like the setting and characters I care about least in League, except for like maybe the Egypt setting. So I don't know. I just wasn't excited to watch this show.
Now,
I feel like I still should, but
you should, because to be fair, a lot of people are like, I know nothing about League, but I really like this show. I'm watching it with like my husband or my mom or whatever, and we're having a good time. I feel like I don't particularly like League, but I play League and I enjoy it sometimes when I do play it. So I'm tsundere for it, whatever. Sue me. And it's like, I feel like these characters aren't the same as in the game. Is that unfair to say? Like, I'm not getting the character vibes.
I don't think so. But that's just because they're finally put in a medium where like you can develop a character. Does that make sense?
That's the thing. Like,
I don't.
Or you know, I should say less because I haven't actually watched the show. But like these characters have had very extensive biographies for a while.
They have hundreds of voice lines, so you get their you know them as well as you know them better than most fighting game characters, and you can tell when a fighting game character is out of character in an adaptation. Like Vi does not have any of the spunk I get from the show, from the games. Jinx is not the chaotic, annoying bitch that she is in the games. She's like weirdly moody. I don't know much about Jace, but is Jace anything like the show? Like,
no one knows anything about characters. No one started.
Fair. You know,
no one started playing Jace until this
Jace
week.
is a new character. Fair enough. I feel like Heimerdinger is the closest, but even he comes off more harebrained mad scientist in the games to me, while he's very well composed in this.
Yeah.
They put Jace from the show into the game.
Yeah. So my thing on that is controversial take, but maybe not. I think it's a positive thing to make characters that have lore that is pointless into actual characters, but that's just me. But I can understand why that could upset people, because it's like,
dude,
I come from Warhammer 40,000, and that is the ultimate, like, we made a game, the setting is just a secondary thing to give context sort of deal. League is the same kind of way, where they have characters and they have to give it some sort of context.
Look.
And there are even League characters. There are League characters that contradict current League canon that are happening in game. Like, it's not a Summoner's Rift anymore, but people still refer to Summoners as world champions.
I'm not talking about the lore because I couldn't really care, but like the characters have characteristics that I think aren't really being portrayed. And I had this conversation with like other people; they don't seem to agree. So I don't know. If I was to boot up a set of voice lines of like Jinx and Vi and Jace, if he exists, I think those would be starkly different characters from who we're getting in the show. So I'm just,
and
that's all
I
I'm
think,
saying.
and I agree, but I also think I also prefer for them to take the characters wherever they want to take them rather than having to adhere to what they are in the game.
Is it that bad to ask for a video game adaptation that like adds something to the context? And like, I feel like so many of these video game adaptations are like, video games bad, none of their storytelling matters, let's do our own thing. Like, like I want people to respect the source material, and like, why adapt it if you're not going to do something interesting with the source material instead of like taking the source material and completely changing it? I don't know. It's a thing I
don't think it's also completely changing it, but I also think like if something is bad, you shouldn't keep it bad.
The lead characterization, would you say it's bad? Bradley is in love with like Zoe's character lines. If Zoe shows up and is a different character, he'd be pretty upset. You know?
I don't think they're bad, but I also don't think they're death. Like that's the thing.
I think what we're calling, I think we're talking just about retconning, and they're retconning.
They're not retconning.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is the lore now. You know, this is just a side thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Sure
like when you select Vi, she says punch first, ask questions while punching.
Yeah.
That is like, I haven't gotten any of that energy from the Vi in this show. She's, I don't know, whatever. We went too into Arcane.
Also yeah. There's also another thing where you're like the biggest thing you can say is that the legend version of Vi is much different from the origin version of Vi because she changes. Also, Vi cannot in League of Legends has amnesia and doesn't know who she is. That's also her lore.
Wait, is that every character or just Vi?
Just Vi. That's Vi's lore is that she has.
No, she's a cop and she has lines with Caitlyn, which is stuff in the show. So like. Also, Caitlyn is hardly a character, but whatever.
You know what we should do is talk about that they're fleshing out these characters, okay? And the concept of League of Legends is some summoners or magicians are basically the ones playing these characters.
Yeah, the idea is they take these legends and they summon them into the arena and they solve political disputes, and that's what the whole point of the game is. I don't think that's even like canonized lore anymore. I'm pretty sure they've kind of thrown out.
Yeah, they have.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So you don't want me to care about lore.
Honestly, like
I want a tournament arc. I want them to make these shows into a tournament arc.
And then you have Dota. I just.
I don't know, man.
But the point is that like I'd rather them just like do their own thing and take inspiration from it than try to like stick to what is written. Because then things get a little bit screwed. Because like some of the lore is written by like people who were just rushing to get the game out and like really didn't like.
It doesn't have to be the lore. I just want those personalities. The story could be whatever the fuck they want it to be. I just wanted them to keep the personalities tighter. Like, for example, Ryan's like, dude, I love Caitlyn in this show, and I'm like, Ryan, she hasn't done anything in the first 3 episodes. It's like, well, I know she's gonna do stuff later. It's like that the impression of characters is bleeding into the show because of designs and how they play, and I think people aren't necessarily looking at what the show is, which is a good show. Oh my god, we talk too much. Talk about Eternals.
Let's talk about Eternals instead, which is
Eternals is also not good.
I haven't seen it.
I wonder if like. Is even like saying the premise of this movie a spoiler?
You can say it to me. I don't think it won't ruin it for me, right?
The premise of this movie is having a crisis of faith. That's like kind of like the deep seed of it.
Yeah, kind of like faith and like is what I have been doing for my entire life, which has been thousands of years if you're this character. Do I believe in what I've been doing, you know?
Yeah. This movie is just terrible Watchmen.
Watchmen movies or comic?
I guess both the movie and the comic, because it's pretty close, because it's got a pretty similar storyline, if you agree with me, Bradley.
I'll agree with Joe.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think this movie, my core problem is that juggling this many characters is really fucking hard. And I'm gonna be real. If you told me, like, I was about to say the main character, referring to the Asian
Cersei?
lady, Cersei.
Cersei? Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, she is kind of the one you're meant to like be following through this movie. But man, if you told me that 80% of her lines were in the first 15 minutes of the movie, I would believe you. Like, it was really hard for me to care about some of these characters because each of them get such a small volume of dialogue because of how many characters and
How
like
many are there?
There's
like
7, 8.
I thought there was 9 even.
There might be 9. There's way too many.
The marketing for this movie put me really off because they're like, and blah 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 as Korg and blah blah as Fubar and Glorb, and I'm like, I don't know any of these people.
And
I came in. Yeah, go ahead, Bradley.
You have that many characters, and then I think there's like maybe once in the whole movie where they're all in the same place at the same time. So I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't get it. The only one I could get attached to was the Indian guy and his little director sidekick because I thought they were fucking hilarious.
Well, they're the most human of all of them.
Yeah.
I like Sprite. I think she was a really cool character. But she's also falls into the Ali. Willard would fucking hate this character. But I think yep.
I said bet.
Tyler? Bet? Oh, okay. The thing about Eternals is like I went into this like really expecting like I'm not gonna like this movie a lot. And I came out of it's like I enjoyed this movie. It's not my favorite Marvel movie. It's not the best Marvel movie. It's not a bad Marvel movie, but it's definitely the most boring Marvel movie of all time. Yeah. It's like I would have been a lot more engaged, ironically, if this was a Marvel TV show. And they spend a lot more time having the characters like go through this like crisis that they're having and discussing what they need to be doing and kind of contemplating their existence within the universe and what it means to be these people. And I'm just like, I don't know, like this was a very interesting movie, very interesting takes, but I felt like I slept through the most of the movie. It's probably the most disappointing Marvel movie that we've seen, especially since like Shang-Chi came out right before this, and that movie was fucking baller.
And that's what makes me sad, right? Or a lot of stuff makes me sad. And there is some good stuff I'm going to say about the movie. It's not just going to be me shitting on it, but the action in this movie, not only was it few and far between, the action was just not that good, which sucks because each of the Eternals has like unique abilities specific to them. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I wonder if we're going to get any like cool creative uses or like some combo attacks and stuff like that. Yeah. And not really. Anytime the Eternals get into a fight, most of the fight is just solved by either Athena or Icarus, who
carry.
Yeah, that's just laser eyes and a spear, and I don't know. I want to see.
Oh my!
Like I want to. There's like way more creative powers between these people, and I was like, I want to see them do.
There's
more
no
fighting.
fucking team up attacks. That's what made Avengers 1 and 2 so dope. And 3 and 4, it's like.
And like, then you have Shang-Chi, where like half the time they're not even using supernatural abilities. And it has maybe my favorite combat out of Marvel movies.
Yeah, choreography.
So, by the way,
yeah, I know. Shank, I'm gonna go watch it maybe tonight because I remembered it exists.
Okay.
Now, for stuff I like, kind of what Joe was talking about with the crisis of faith. I think they did a pretty good job, like in the first half of the movie, of kind of showing the Eternals' journey through time and just kind of. Because, you know, they were sent here. Okay, this is what they'll tell you in the trailer, right? So none of this is really spoilers because it's in the trailer. Eternals were sent here to protect humankind from the Deviants, which are just these monsters that, you know, kill everything.
The intelligent life.
Different from the variants.
Yeah. And basically, I don't know, they're protecting humankind throughout the centuries and throughout the millennia, and some of them might lose faith in their mission, which I thought was really good because, like, one character sees like genocides going on, and he's like, "Oh my God, I could stop this from happening." And they're like, "No, we were ordered to never interfere in humankind's development. We just step in to protect them when the deviants fight." And he's like, "Okay, this is fucking bullshit." He's like, "This isn't even a war. We've seen wars." He's like, "This is just thousands of people killing thousands of other people for no reason." He's like, "Why the fuck? What's a good reason for us to not interfere?" And then, another character will see the results of, like, I think other genocides or like maybe the atomic bomb, and they'll just be like, "Dude, fuck these guys. Like, they don't deserve us." And like, I think that's the part of the movie that's really cool for me is seeing how each of these characters handles human history differently, because some of them might be more steadfast in their faith for humanity. Some of them are like, "I don't get why the fuck we're protecting them," and the clashes between those ideologies, I think, are the really cool parts of the movie.
I agree. I think those definitely were like the highlights, and like the idea of like, and I think a big part of it too is just like, for most of the movie, you're not really sure why they can't interfere, and so like they had this same kind of like thought process as you do, and I think it makes it a little bit more engaging.
And like that big plot twist halfway through, I was like, you know what? That was pretty fucking cool. Let's roll with this. I'm into the movie now. But I feel like the execution of the idea it planted in my head was just not done very well.
I also think the climax of the movie is kind of lame and a clusterfuck. There's a character leaves in the third act. A character shows up in the third act. It's just like,
yo, this seems messy as fuck.
I was just confused at what was going on. Like I like turned to Emmy and I was like, "Did they win?" And she's like, "I think." And then like the credits played. I don't know.
Yeah. I went through this whole movie and I didn't realize that Kit Harington was in the movie until the very last scene.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the main character's like boyfriend, who's an actual like human, and so like he's just like, "Oh, I guess you live forever. Oh, I'm sad now, my queen."
I don't want it.
But he's going to show up in later Marvel movies. Fun fact. That's neat.
Yeah, you know what? And I couldn't tell what they were implying with him. It's just the way that last shot lingers on him in his dialogue. I'm like, I guess he's going to be important in another Marvel movie, but I don't know what his deal is.
Did you see the after credits scene?
I did, and the after credits scene actually got me pretty fucking excited. I thought it was pretty fucking cool.
For me, what's happening?
And that you want the after credits scene spoilies?
Oh, fuck it.
So the credits of the movie started, and Emmy was like, that was cool, but she's like, you know what? Isn't Thanos' dad supposed to be an Eternal? So Thanos is like half Eternal, and he has a brother who's an Eternal also. Right around the time she said that, after credit scene starts, and a little goblin gnome looking creature comes out, and it announces the arrival of Eros. And she's like, "Oh my god, that's Thanos' brother." So Thanos' brother, an Eternal, played by Harry Styles, Eros, god of sex, right?
God of boning.
Yeah, he shows up, and I don't know. It seems that the mission of the Eternals is not done. They still have work left to do, and I think they're going to be showing up more in the Marvel Universe.
Maybe that's an Eternals 2 thing, because, Joe, what happened to the end of Loki stuff that excited me greatly? Has that not even shown back up yet?
No, they might not show up until Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, Multiverse is my hype moment. Also, you have to realize that a lot of the production of these movies got shifted around because it was supposed to be WandaVision, then Multiverse of Madness.
This entire movie was filmed during pandemic.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, that's fact, but also, like, you can tell during, like, all the cuts as well.
I feel like pandemic era movies have particularly bad editing as a necessity.
So that's number one. Number two ends with Kit Harington opening up a box to find a black blade
the tomate
inside.
Box, yes.
Yeah, he opens a box and there's a black blade inside, and then a voice says, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And apparently, Bradley, this is supposed to be Blade.
No.
Huh? Really? No.
It's the Black Knight. That's literally
No. He's the Black Knight, but there's another voice that speaks in the background.
Oh, yeah. I thought that might have been Blade but it also might be Nick Fury.
I don't think it was Nick Fury. They wouldn't hide Samuel L. Jackson, I feel.
I mean, is the voice Marshawn Ali or fucking Nick Fury?
I don't think it doesn't get credited.
And y'all can't tell from pitch?
No.
Sketchy,
So you might have to
sussy moment for my white boys here. That's all I'm saying.
You might have to go investigate, Willer.
Dude,
but
this
that's what a
movie
lot of
seems
people
like
are.
it blows. I'm not paying for this. I'm gonna. I'm either using Joe's Disney Plus or I'm gonna get it. You know,
It's like charging
definitely, man. Out of the Marvel movies I've seen, it's probably like I'll put it slightly above Thor 2.
Yeah.
Is Phase 4 flopping a little bit?
Not in the TV shows. Shang-Chi's great.
Okay,
I feel like Spider-Man is gonna kind of spear
make a break,
dude.
By the way, the trailer came out.
There's something
while we were talking.
There's something really off about the new Spider-Man for me in that trailer, and it's when Doctor Strange. Oh my fucking god, he's still doing this. Well, I can't see you for when I should tell you to unmute, so I'm gonna wave. I don't know. He's probably just gone forever now. There's that scene where Doctor Strange is like Juan or his sidekick,
Juan.
bro. Juan is leaving, and he's like, "Don't do anything dangerous. Like, don't do that thing Peter Parker's telling you to do." And then Doctor Strange in his robe winks at Peter Parker, like, "Haha, I'm such a cute, quirky character." I'm like, I really do not like the premise of that movie where the Sorcerer Supreme is gonna do some dumb shit to get Tobey Maguire to show up.
You know what? I was kind of pissed at that too. I was
that
like,
not
no,
like-
he should be a little more disciplined than that. And I feel like
It's too
he
like,
learned-
haha, isn't he cute
Yeah.
and quirky? Like, that's not, no.
Because I feel like by the end of his own movie, he kind of learned to have like a respect and discipline for the powers that he now possesses. And when I saw that trailer, I was like, really, dude? Come on.
They're trying to like get him to be like whimsical MCU because the Spider-Man movies are very fluffy.
But on the counterpoint, the trailers sometimes do a thing where they do take things out of context, and that might be a wink to something else.
That's what I'm hoping for. But he's still dressed in that tone that I'm grumpy.
And like it could be either one. I'm still going to see the movie. I love the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're coming back. Dude, Peter Molina as Doc Ock, I fucking love that performance. Yeah, I'm going to watch that.
Green Goblin back, baby!
Yeah.
But I forgot what we were talking about. As my final word of Turtles, I fucking hate the designs of their suits and their powers. I think they're lame as fuck.
When you told me eye lasers is most of the combat, you cannot believe how much that dropped my interest. I think eye laser is the
also
lamest.
Finger guns.
Finger gun's better. Eye laser is the lamest power and combat in anything. It's always the lowest denominator. Every superhero fiction has it. It's so lame.
You don't even there's no motion to it. You don't even get to swing your hand. You just look at what you want to attack.
But Bradley, is this Worm?
No, this is Chrono Trigger.
I don't know anything about Chrono Trigger
or Worm. So you think you know things about Worm based on what we talked about, but
there's one thing I know about Worm that
he knows the important things. He knows all the memes.
Yeah,
he knows all the memes.
I know. Take that, you Worm.
Name one concrete thing you know about Worm.
Superman goes bad.
Okay.
No, that's not quite accurate.
Oh no.
Legend and Eidolon would be Superman. You know what? You're half right.
Yeah, I
Superman is
literally
like
talk about it all the
other
time.
people.
The Triumvirate,
but-
also Alexandria. Dr. Manhattan goes bad is more accurate. Okay. That's different. All right, Tyler, you can come back.
I'm back.
Hold on. Tyler, you have to finish us off
With what, sir?
with a question.
Oh.
Also, we didn't mention it, but Tyler saw this movie. He saw Eternals ahead of time because
Did everyone die?
privileges.
Did I die?
No, you're
Oh
alive.
no.
Am I alive?
Oh, are we all back?
Yes.
Y'all,
Okay.
Left, babe.
if McDonald's didn't exist, what would be the superior fast food chain restaurant? I'm talking about in terms of global strength.
Now you said superior.
Ooh,
Okay,
that's
I see.
actually-
Strength.
I see. That's a good question, actually. Would it be Taco
Honestly-
Bell? I feel like Taco Bell up there.
The thing is, I
Taco
think
Bell might be up there, but I think the real answer is like, what was the next burger place
answer. I
that
wanna see
came
if you
out
know
after
that.
McDonald's?
I know the answer. I want to see if y'all know the answer.
well, okay. So
Pizza Hut?
I think it has to be replaced by a burger joint because I can't.
Pizza
think
Hut's
so.
pretty strong.
If it doesn't have to be replaced with a burger joint, I think it's Domino's. But like burger, you drive through, you get your burger, your fries, and your shake.
That's fair.
I think
I think that's a big reason.
I think people are genetically engineered to like Burger King in this world.
I feel like maybe
It is Burger King. That's my throw. Is like
because that's the thing. Apparently, I'm googling this right now. My theory is the thing that would replace McDonald's is whatever's most similar to it that came out around the same time, and McDonald's and Burger King came out within a year of each other. If it's not Burger King, my theory is honestly that it might be White Castle, just because White Castle came out before either of those two, and if those two didn't take all of the business, maybe
I
it
think
would have.
extrapolating off of quality, I think Wendy's has a shot here.
Wendy's is good.
So I think the thing is too, is you have to also think about the ability to efficiently replicate your burger. That's the other thing. I think White Castle's a little bit too highbrow with like In-N-Out, and like they don't hit that like gourmet burger, but they're not like pure fast food like McDonald's.
I
is.
thought White Castle did lame ass sliders for high people.
they do.
Yeah, that doesn't seem particularly
Do they?
highbrow.
Yeah.
But I don't think theirs is like as replicatable as like a McDonald's burger. But I live nowhere near a White Castle. Like I only know they're on like the
White
West Coast.
Castle is not a global presence.
Yeah,
That's
one.
People in Brazil, which is what I would base this off, like eating McDonald's is kind of a special night because it's like not as cheap there, and it's cool American food. So McDonald's was a big thing. You're gonna spend you're gonna spend a decent meal's price to get a burger, a Big Mac, or whatever, and a Toys meal or whatever. But people know what Burger King is there, and they say it. It's like, hey, have you ever been to Burger King? So I feel like it's it's that other McDonald's place because McDonald's is normal for them. So Burger King is the next like, ooh, it's almost normal for us, so we know about it kind of thing.
Is Burger King the Pepsi to McDonald's?
It almost is. The thing is,
it's the kin to McDonald's Ryu.
the thing is, Pepsi has its people that Pepsi is a winner. I don't know anyone who even likes Burger King aside from like the chicken fries.
I'm pretty sure.
Do y'all know Burger King? I genuinely don't know a single Burger King person.
Is it Tyler?
I like Burger King quite a good bit because I'm a piece of shit.
But do you like it more than
You're a
McDonald's?
fucking McDonald's slut, though.
McDonald's ain't been treating me the best, but honestly, as I've just been trying to eat better and not eat fast food at all, but it's like Burger King is my special fast food. If I want something good that I haven't had in a while, I'm like, you know what, Burger King.
I could imagine not going to
real side
Wendy's
hoe.
for. I can't imagine not going to Wendy's for that job. Like I don't know.
Burger King was also a comfort fast food for me growing up. Like that's where my parents would take me.
You brought McDonald's back into my life, and now I have it every once in a while. So you're complicit in my death.
Good.
I had McDonald's for the first time in like 5 or 6 years, and I was shocked at how good like their quarter pounder with cheese was. I was like,
Oh, dude, if you're drunk, or,
I really wish I got a second one.
or indisposed. Tyler, what was your camera? Were you battlefielding this whole time?
Yeah, I was doing. I just look ugly as shit today.
Look at this sweet kitty.
We need a name.
I think
your-
Burger King is pretty good flavor.
I like the flame broiledness of the sandwich, but it's not particularly good. It's just like a different vibe than any
His
other
burger?
sandwich. Burger King.
Oh,
Like, they got the flame broiled part of the sandwich that like just feels different. We gotta name the statue behind Tyler, by the way.
It's
Bukum.
It's Ikum
Yeah, it's
Bukum.
Bukum.
All right, there we go. Well, that's the question, folks. The answers were Burger King and White Castle, I guess, and
No, not White Castle. I'm gonna go Burger King and
I think Taco
I think
Bell
Wimpy.
is a decent.
Taco Bell is pretty high.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Taco Bell is strong worldwide.
Americans,
I think if you eliminated those two burger joints, Taco Bell would come out on top because once again, it's a food that could be easily replicated, made quick in a bag out the door. So, you know, and you know what? It's got a little bit of like a foreign flair in the United States, and that always makes people excited sometimes because we're all white and just sheltered.
Sure, but all right. Thanks for joining us this podcast. Woo, that was decently long.
So,
Yeah, oh my god,
2 hours,
240
3 hours.
That's
3 hours.
240 is the longest we've had since the podcast started for real around episode 30. Can you believe we only have 30 real episodes of our podcast?
Yeah,
Crazy.
those first 5, I think we talked about like 4 topics in like 4 hours or 3 hours or something like that.
No, we had a bunch of topics. We were just doing Worm and One Piece alongside them.
That's true.
I like the
Oh, yeah,
Marvel
before
special
they were
we
their
did.
own.
Yeah.
Marvel special was fun. I like our special episodes that we do. I guess the next one.
They eventually became the tier lists, so
Yeah. Game of the year though. Very excited.
I can't
I
fucking
think that's
wait.
Hey,
Y'all, thanks
I think
for
it's the
listening.
next
Dude, I looked at what I had to talk about this week, and I was like, I'm going to be talking so much today. If this is, I should have said this is the start. If you don't like my voice, maybe skip around this one because it's gonna be a lot of me. All right, that's all I got.
All right.
peace.
Bye.